Blank check with Griffin and David. Blank check with Griffin and David. Don't know what to say or to expect. All you need to know is that the name of the show is Blank Check.
Grandma's rules. Number 1, have a great time. Number 2, eat as much as you want. Number 3, don't leave your room after 9:30 p.m. And number 4, podcast.
I thought you were just going to go with don't ever leave your room after podcasting.
Oh, I thought about that.
Yeah, well,
I thought that was clunkier. I don't know. And I also thought this is the last one, so let's get like metatextual and just make the fourth rule just
say
the word
podcast. Very metatextual.
It's very metatextual. Hi, everybody. My name is Griffin Newman.
My name's David Sims.
Welcome to Blank Check with Griffin and David.
Yep.
This is a podcast where we investigate directors, their filmographies. People who are given a blank check early on in their career.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Macintosh comes to their door and says, you can make whatever movies you want.
Mr. Macintosh?
The fake name of the kid, the company that the kid in Blank Check starts.
Did not remember that from the film Blank Check. Thank you.
No, there's the part where he's at the computer and they go, what name do you want to open the account under? And he looks at the little Apple on his computer. He goes, Mr. Macintosh.
I didn't know. Do you think Apple paid for
that? Maybe.
I was just talking to our guest, who we haven't said is here yet, about the other movies that the man who made Blank Check made, including Stigmata.
Weird.
Remember Stigmata?
Yeah.
Where they were like, we got it, guys. Patty Arquette, Christ wounds.
Patty Arquette. We got to go back to calling her Patty.
Yeah.
Patty, past and future guest of the show. This is our second episode we're recording today. I'm on like 4 hours of sleep.
Why aren't you sleeping?
I did a late show last night.
Okay.
I forgot and I agreed to, and I fucked my life up.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm doing great.
Yeah. You're the tick.
I'm Arthur. I'm the Arthur. I still haven't been fired.
Great.
That's my biggest goal is not to get fired before I start working.
Have they cast the tick yet? I'm asking you on mic.
No. And the honest answer is, here's the honest answer, okay? In this episode, by the time this episode's released,
they probably will have cast the tick.
They probably would have known. But I'll just tell this as a little anecdotal story.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps on asking me, like, oh, they cast the tick, have to cast the tick. And I'm like, no. And they're like, but you can't tell me, right? And I'm like, no, I genuinely...
We don't know who the tick is.
As last I asked, they don't have somebody, right? They're trying to get somebody, and they're trying to get... I think they're going after some big people and some cool people, and they're not auditioning. They're like offering, right? So I emailed the casting director a couple days ago. By the time you listen to this, it will be 2 weeks.
Oh my god, wrap this up.
About something else.
Yeah.
And I was like, da-da-da-da-da. Also, can't wait to hear who you cast as the big guy. And she like wrote the email back, and I was like, maybe she'll just tell me like, hey, don't tell anybody, but we're close to this person. She wrote back, addressed the first thing, and I was like, great, thank you. Also, how are you close to getting someone to play the tick? And she was like, yep. And I was like, great, can't wait to hear who it is. And she was like, yep, you're going to like it when you hear it.
Great.
It's someone cool.
Cool.
So they will not tell me.
Wow.
Even who their leads are. But I haven't been fired yet. And that's great news for everyone.
Do you think that Patty Arquette could be American-made?
Yeah, I hope so.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, she'd be good.
There's so many good supporting. What a great little, ensemble of characters the tick has.
Can I tell you who my new favorite supporting character is? I've been reading all the comic books. Also, our guest here is Louis Peitzman from BuzzFeed.
Sorry, I got impatient.
No. I always like it when the guest just starts talking naturally. It's much better.
Yeah, me too.
Rather than okay. Yeah, Louis Peitzman's here.
Louis Peitzman's here from BuzzFeed. I've been reading all the comics. There's a character who appears...
You a tick fan?
Yeah.
Tickhead.
There's a character who appears in the comics. Because a lot of Ben Edlund only did the first 12 issues of the comic before he went over to the cartoon show.
So mad at us. No, come on. All right, wrap it up.
No, they want the tick content.
Yeah, tick
That's what
content.
people are listening for.
The scoops?
At this point, the tick is a sensation, and people want to hear everything they can about it, right?
Yeah.
2 weeks from now?
Yeah, because at this point, we'll know that Arnold Schwarzenegger has been cast as the tick, and America will be salivating for details. Salivating.
Okay.
There's a minor villain who appears in like issue 10 of the original comic books. He's a hero rather. They go to a bar with all these superheroes, like a superhero nightclub, and they're all introducing themselves. And there's a guy named like Six Shooter, and he has six shooters.
Okay.
And he juggles guns. The whole thing is he like juggles
That's cool. I like
3
that.
guns in each hand and then shoots them while he's juggling, which is cool. But the guy I like, they're like introducing all these heroes with these cool names and everything. And they go, what about that guy? And he goes, I'm the guy with a grenade, with a hand grenade. And they go, what's your power? And he goes, I have a hand grenade.
It's funny.
And they go, that's it? And he goes, you can get a lot done with a hand grenade. And he's just a dude in like a superhero spandex jumpsuit holding a hand grenade out in front of him. And he just gets what he wants because people don't want him to let go.
So who do you think for that one? Vin Diesel?
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
I want Vin to be the tick.
He'd be a great
I don't
tick.
even want to verbalize that because I don't want to put that in the
No,
world
I
because it's
know.
not going to
It's not
happen.
gonna happen.
But that's my ultimate.
It
dream.
might.
Hey, you know what?
It might.
I mean, Vin Diesel's career would have to, no offense, nosedive in the next couple weeks for him to get
offense
cast.
taken.
I'm just saying, he's on top of the world, you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling good about myself.
No, but you're good. You're not on top of the world, but
No, I'm
you're,
not.
you know, climbing the world. I don't
God,
know, you
how
know.
funny is this going to be listened to in 2 weeks when everything's changed?
Yes, and yeah.
Yeah, let's also say John Kasich just won Ohio.
Yeah, you want to just...
Let's ground ourselves in this moment. It's going to snow tonight, I think, is the thought.
That's the rumor.
It's going to snow tonight in New York City.
Ellen Page just posted an Instagram of a dog that I opened on my laptop, and I'm looking at it.
That's going to be a watershed moment that people will be able to remember. They'll look back at that and they'll remember where they were
It's a
this
good
time and
dog.
place. That is a good dog.
I wonder how many likes that'll have in 2 weeks.
That's a good question.
How many likes does it have right now?
1278.
Okay.
Let's revisit this. I'm going to bookmark
listeners,
this. And we'll check in later.
Great.
Mitch McConnell just said that the NRA have to approve of the next Supreme Court justice. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
What's the podcast about?
So this podcast is about directors
Uh-huh.
who have success early on or given a blank check by Mr. McIntosh to make whatever movie they want.
Got it.
So with M. Night, of course, The Sixth Sense
This is the guy. M. Night Shyamalan's the guy we're talking about.
is the movie, the blank check movie.
M. Night Shyamalan's the name. Pod Night Shamacast is the game
Boom.
that we're playing. And this is his most recent film.
It is. It came out not but a year ago. It came out on September 11th, 2015.
Never forget.
Don't forget that release date.
Never forget it.
Yeah.
And at the time that this movie came out, we sort of had the idea because it was starting to get good reviews.
Mm-hmm.
We knew we were coming to the end of the Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
train.
we were in our Star Wars hole. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were like, we want to do other things. We want to do directors. This is kind of interesting. M. Night's having like a comeback moment.
Mm-hmm.
And we went, he might be a good subject. So
Yeah.
we both held off on watching this movie for this podcast. We didn't see it when it came out. I finished watching this movie 2 minutes before.
Yeah.
I didn't plan my time out very well.
And
did
30
not.
minutes after I arrived.
Yep. Yes. Correct.
Which is fine. I want to position this in time.
Yeah,
correctly.
Let's definitely
fine.
get that on the record.
It's fine.
Lewis arrived exactly on time.
Yeah,
and Griffin
on the nugget.
Griffin said, "I have 5 minutes." I think was how you
I
put
said
it. Left.
15.
You said
I
15 at
underestimated
first.
how long the credits were.
You said 5.
No, I
he
overestimated. I
He
thought
said
the credits would be
15
longer.
first, and then he said 5 later. But then I looked at your screen, and there were a lot more than 5.
There was a
Yeah,
lot.
you came over to me and you were like, "Yeah, Yahtzee hadn't happened yet," and I was like, "Okay, so he doesn't have 5 minutes left." Which is a very good indicator of like a plot, like where
Yeah,
where
so
the
it was
plot
pre-
was.
I thought M. Night
Pre-Yahtzee.
usually has like 15-minute long credit sequences.
Yeah, it's true that After Earth and The Last Airbender have hellaciously long credit
Yeah,
sequences. They have
I
like
thot-
Gone with the Wind level long
Yeah,
credit
I thought-
sequences
I
for no
under-
good reason.
I overestimated.
Anyway,
Folks, this is the movie called The Visit. Came out September 11th, 2015.
mm-hmm.
And this is the landscape we're in right now. M. Night has another film that's in production right now.
Split.
James McAvoy.
Isn't it?
Ed
Yeah.
Lockman shot it. Is that right?
Ed Lockman shot it? He has the best cinematographers. We didn't even
I
talk
think,
about...
no, wait, who shot it?
Cronenberg's guy shot After Earth. We didn't talk about
Yeah.
this. This was shot by the guy who shot... Oh, you're saying The Visit was shot
This was
by...
shot by a lady. Was shot by Maurice Alberti.
Yeah, who shot Velvet Goldmine and,
and shot
other cool movies.
Wrestler and Creed.
That's right.
Should have been nominated for an Oscar.
Totally.
But no woman has ever been nominated for Best Cinematography.
Split is being shot by Mike Giulakis.
What's he done?
Well, he shot It Follows,
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
which is a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Apart
Ed
from
Lockman.
that, mostly like indie movies that I don't know.
Yeah, but it seems like he's snatching up all these like
does.
hot people.
Oh, is it the production designer from Carol? Is that what it is?
Fuck do I
Someone
know?
from Carol worked on this film.
All right.
He's got a fucking what's his name?
You're talking about the next movie, though. Let's talk about this movie.
Okay, right, but we don't know that next movie yet. This is the most recent M. Night thing we have to go off of. This is our last formal episode. We are possibly doing a bonus episode depending on whether or not we
Depending
lose
on
our minds.
enthusiasm.
Yeah. But we have some things we could do for the bonus episode. This is The Visit. Now, Lewis, you are a big fan of horror movies.
Correct.
I often, Lewis is sort of my lodestar in terms of like what indie horror to check out,
Yeah.
what to avoid. There's a lot these days.
There's too much.
There's too
really.
much, and it's partly through the model that this movie was kind of made through, right? The sort of low budget,
The Blumhouse
fast
model.
and
Right.
cheap
The
movie.
Blumhouse model is that you can make a movie for like $15,000. I mean, that's like one movie you can make for that much. Since then,
Yeah.
it's been more expensive, but then get a lot of money back.
Right. As
Jason-
long as it clears a little bit, you
Yeah.
know, that's all you need, or on video on demand and stuff like that as well.
Jason Blum was a producer on Paranormal Activity, and he really took the ball and ran with it after that.
He
And
ran.
so-
He ran far.
Ran real far. And his other thing is, I mean, his movies are like, so even like Gem and the Holograms, right, which he produced, which was an off-genre film for him,
Right.
was a tremendous flop.
Yes.
But it also was produced for so little money that like he had to come and be like, this is embarrassing that it did this poorly, but also no real skin off my back.
It costs as much as The Visit. It costs
Right.
$5 million.
Right, that was like, and that's a mega budget for Blumhouse. Is $5 million is the biggest they get. So he's got a really good sustainable
Paranormal
model.
Activity was the $15,000.
That was the
right?
$50,000
Yes.
movie. Yes.
I mean, he must be so rich. They must all be so rich, the people who made that
Yeah.
movie. Sometimes I just sit down and think about it.
Well, they have all these franchises too. Insidious. The Conjuring's getting a sequel.
Right.
Sinister. There's a couple
Sinister.
Sinister movies. They got The
Paranormal, yeah.
Purge.
Ouija.
Oh,
Is
Ouija!
there
They're
another
making a Ouija sequel.
Oh yeah.
And then
It's a good director's
Mike
doing it, right?
Flanagan.
is he part of the whole creepy doll sort of extended franchise that
Annabelle
came up-
is- yeah, 'cause
Annabelle is a
Annabelle's a
spin-off of The Conjuring,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Yeah, right.
Wait, have you guys seen the real Annabelle doll?
Yeah, it's a Raggedy Ann.
Yeah, it's a Raggedy Ann.
Do you know that?
Look up the real Annabelle doll.
Annabelle's a fucking
It's
goddamn Raggedy Ann.
hilarious. It's Lorraine Warren like holding a
my
Raggedy
God.
Ann doll.
It's not even a creepy one.
No,
it's just
Raggedy Ann.
It is. It
I
just.
had a Raggedy Andy when
Yeah.
I was a kid.
We're not saying it's like a Raggedy Ann type doll. It is the Raggedy Ann
It's
you would
Raggedy
buy
Ann,
from
yeah.
like the Hallmark store.
But it's haunted.
This was the haunted doll.
This was the haunted doll, yeah.
Because in the movie, it is the most demented looking doll you've ever seen.
Yeah, it looks like why would anyone design a doll to look that way? It was
looks like
manufactured that
It looks
way.
like someone set a plastic child on fire. Like it's like the creepiest fucking thing.
You know what I always appreciated though about Child's Play is that like those dolls like were believably creepy.
Yes.
Like they were
Yes.
very
They
creepy.
were
but,
right
like,
on the edge.
You understand that like why that would happen and like why as a kid you'd be okay with it, but as like an adult who understands that things are
You'd be
scary,
like, this is a
like,
fucked up
no.
doll.
Yeah.
You're big into the Child Play franchise too, right? Are you
Yeah.
not a huge fan?
No, I am a big fan.
Okay, because this came up with us recently on the podcast. Which is your favorite of the Child's Play movies?
Oh god.
This is when we were talking about the box office performance of Another Stakeout.
Right, and you were very surprised by which one I said was my favorite.
Mine is probably Bride of Chucky.
Interesting.
Mine too.
Well, what's your favorite?
I like 3.
He likes Child's Play 3.
That's the worst one.
I agree.
Really? See, I think
That's
that
the
one's...
one at like military
Yeah,
school.
I like that one.
No. Child's Play 2 is also really good. And like,
3 ends with the fight on the factory line, though, right?
no, that's 2.
Child's Play 3 ends
really?
up with him on the railway tracks, I believe.
Child's Play
Two's my
2 is the
favorite?
one where Emily Valentine from 90210 and the kid are like in the factory
Right.
for the showdown. That's 2.
So then maybe 2's my favorite. I just know I like that factory showdown, but I always thought that was at the end of the military academy movie. I gotta rewatch
I'm
that.
pretty sure
No,
that's
3 ends at like a haunted house or something. And then, I don't know. There's
No,
like,
I think you're right. It's the train thing, right? Isn't it?
I don't remember. It's been a
no,
while.
I'm
Oh, you
saying
thought
that-
it was the train thing?
Well, no, Child's Play 3 was banned in Britain.
Right.
I believe it's 3. It might have been 2. One of them was banned in Britain because a child was murdered. There's this really famous
right.
James Bulger case
Oh,
where
yeah.
2 children murdered a little child and they like tied him to railroad tracks.
Chucky was
Right.
kind of the Slenderman of his time.
I mean, but the thing was, it was kind of like a. That's sort of it was sort of a fake Slenderman because like they
Yeah.
didn't actually know if they'd seen those
Right.
movies.
Yeah. Well,
there was
but the crime was just
Yeah,
similar.
but that was around the time when they were just kind of like
they were just banning videos.
right. And you know,
Also say, like, if they tied a kid to some train tracks and they thought it was a copycat crime, he also might have watched, like, the fucking Dudley Do-Right. Or, like, old, like, silent one-reelers. Like, that's, like, the oldest trick in the book. Like, were they twirling long mustaches and wearing capes? Because if so, it might not have been Chucky's fault.
It's just crazy because like I know that it's such a niche thing in this country, but in England, like the Bulger murder is like the biggest
Yeah.
thing that's ever like the worst
That's
crime
crazy.
in
Yeah.
the history of Britain. Basically, they still haven't gotten over it. You know, that movie Boy A is about the Bulger murder,
Right.
which introduced us to young Andrew Garfield.
Andy Garfield.
So I am uncomfortable even making a joke about it. That's
I
why I'm saying
feel
that.
bad about my Slenderman joke.
No, that was a great joke.
Yeah,
No,
but I just
Did you see the Slenderman
I
documentary?
did. Yes,
Is it good?
It's so good.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that.
I like that guy.
Did you ever
Slenderman,
watch-
I think he's cool.
Well,
Let's have him on the podcast.
Time for the podcast. Our next miniseries is Child's Pod. We're going to go through the Child's Play
with
films
Slenderman?
with Slenderman on every episode.
Okay, two things really quick.
Please.
One, they did a Q&A after that movie, and I was like, if they bring out Slenderman, I'm going to shit my pants.
Seriously.
Didn't happen. The other thing that I love about Child's Play is that Don Mancini wrote that entire series.
Right. Yeah,
It's
I
the
love
only-
that.
It's the only...
So there's an auteur element.
Yeah, it's the only horror series that I can
never
think of.
left
The
its
franchise that
creator.
always had the creator, and also varies so much in terms of tone. Like it's now back to horror.
He went in a lot of directions.
He
Yeah.
reinvented his own franchise, which
Right.
rarely happens. Yeah.
Also, he's like a gay dude, which is kind of uncommon in horror. It's like him and Clive Barker in terms of like mainstream horror.
I didn't even see Curse of Chucky. Did you see that one? The
I
straight
did.
video one. Is it good?
It is good.
and that's back to straight horror, but it's minimalist, kind of, right?
It-
Minimalist for Chucky.
It's it's back to straight horror. The trailer looks kind of rough because there's some CGI in it.
I
But
saw
when
that.
you
and it
but if
scared
you
me
actually
off, yeah.
watch it, it's quite good.
And they have more practical stuff in the.
Yeah,
in the
no,
movie?
and
And
it's
is Seed of Chucky the one with John Waters, or is that Bride of
Yes.
Chucky?
Yes,
Seed,
Seed of Chucky.
had
He plays a paparazzi. Yeah.
Anyway,
Seed's real goofball bananas.
Seed is where they were.
the Britney Spears scene in Seed is when
Yep.
I was like, this is a movie that I'm watching.
Wait, but I had a thought about all of this. Well, Slenderman. Did any of you guys ever watch Marble Hornets? That thing on YouTube. That like
Marble Hornets?
you guys don't know. Do
No.
you know it?
No, but it sounds like something's going to scare me.
It's fucking scary. And it was when the Slenderman thing happened, they had watched this thing. It's like a YouTube series, an indie thing, like a web series, but it's not, he just made it by himself about like a person who went mad making a movie when Slenderman started haunting him.
Oh yeah, they have clips of that stuff in the movie. Like
Right.
They show a lot of like Slenderman like homemade videos
Right.
and stuff.
And I watched it one day at work when I was like going down a YouTube hole because I was like, maybe I should write about this. And it freaked me out. It's not actually like high production value or very scary, but it freaked me out.
What would you do if you went to like a Comic-Con and Slenderman was just there doing signings? Like he was just at a long table in between like WWE's Virgil and Tony Todd. And he was just there with a
Good
bunch
Tony
of
Todd
glossies.
reference.
Thank you.
What did I just see Tony Todd in?
The Rock?
I didn't see him in an old movie.
I thought maybe you rewatched Final Destination.
Yeah.
He's great in Final
He's in a
Destination.
new movie?
I could have sworn. He's the voice of Zoom in The Flash. Anyway, look, let's get to the
interesting.
visit. Let's get to the visit.
Can I say one thing before we get to the visit?
Yeah, of course.
Just because we brought up John Waters. Do either of you know, there is a moment in Alvin the Chipmunks Board the Road Trip, directed by Walt Becker, auteur of Old Dogs.
Mhm.
I think the greatest living vulgar auteur.
Mhm.
He's a lunatic who they let make children's films. There's a moment where they're on a plane and they sneak into first class. This is where they get put on the no-fly list. And TSA agent Tony Hale spends the rest of the movie trying to track them down.
That's the plot of the movie?
The movie's insane.
Okay.
By the way, they're barely on a road trip in that movie.
They're both on a plane trip?
No, and then they like are in a car for a little bit, but then go on a bus. I spent a lot of time in New Orleans. Like it's
So they're on the road.
a little bit, but it's like one montage of them driving through cities. Anyway, there's a moment where they're on a plane and a stewardess comes over, a flight attendant comes over to Alvin. Alvin's sitting in first class. He's snuck into first class, sitting next to John Waters,
Did not know that.
who I've always said feels like Walt Becker's making John Waters movies within, and not in a good way, but he's somehow making
Like children's John Waters movies.
yeah, that are like that crass and disgusting.
Like a straight guy making John Waters movies.
And I can't figure out if he's self-aware or not, but it does feel like he's the straight John Waters, the straight gone Waters.
He's the straight gone Waters
Yeah.
with a bigger budget.
Yeah. But they're sitting on the plane together, and the flight attendant comes up, and somehow some sort of joke is like they like volley a joke to him about the fact that the chipmunks have eaten their own poop in the previous movies or something like that. Like somehow a poop joke comes up, and John Waters goes like, "Oh, God, how far have our standards fallen?" Or like he says something like that, and Alvin goes like, "Oh, please, like you have right to judge. I've seen pink flamingos."
Wow.
There's a joke in fucking The Road Trip
About pink flamingos.
where they
about
criticize
poop.
Alvin for eating his own shit, and he's like, "Come on, I've seen your fucking shit-eating movie."
Did the kids lose it in the audience when you did they just go nuts for that joke?
They all started bleeding out of their eyes. Like, what the fuck is
it was
this?
like Squidward's Revenge or whatever that.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
I was doing like a callback to the creepypasta since we were doing
Yeah.
Slenderman. So that's what happened there.
Yeah.
In case you guys missed that.
Creepypasta is the kind of thing that I just wish I was the right age to like be
Oh,
independently discovering that stuff.
You can tell how scary it would be.
Oh my God.
Like some of it's like legitimately creepy, and you're like, if I were like 11,
Yeah.
when I was forwarding chain letters that said if you don't forward this 15 times, you're going to get murdered.
Yeah.
I was doing that because I believed that was going to happen. So if someone told me that Slenderman was real at that age, I would have probably stabbed someone.
Do you know what else would have been really creepy when you were 11?
The Visit?
Having to spend a weekend with your grandparents.
Ah, who you'd never met before.
Who you never met before, and then they start acting real kooky.
Not real kooky. Let's be clear. They're gross. This is a movie. Now, I believe this movie is rated PG-13. Am I correct?
think it's an R.
Is it an R? I was trying to...
Let's look it up.
I'm pretty sure it's an R.
Because I was watching and trying to figure out which side of the coin it was
because
falling on.
I was going to say, it's a PG-13.
Wow.
Is it really?
They say fuck once.
They say fuck once.
Because they do the game of him using pop stars instead of curse words.
Oh, right.
That's not too graphic.
No, it's not. I was going to say
it
this
happens
movie
off
kind of
screen,
like Drag
yeah.
Me to Hell, which was another sort of intense
Yeah.
PG-13 horror movie. It does gross stuff rather than gory stuff.
I love Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah,
So
me,
good.
me
So
too.
much.
But that's like kind
You
of...
know what Drag Me to Hell didn't have is a diaper to the face.
It didn't have a diaper to the face, but it had a lot of snot, it had a lot of
Oh, for
like...
sure. No, it's
Yeah.
definitely like...
And this
yeah.
one has a lot of like, barfing and diapers.
It's got a lot of poop.
Dirty diapers.
so much.
I just got to state up
Poop,
front.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little biased because I like movies with poop in them.
I don't actually care for poop in movies.
Me neither. I'm
love
usually
it.
quite anti-poop.
And that scene really got to me. It seemed unnecessary.
Which one? The initial introduction
No,
of the
no, no,
diapers
that's
or
fine.
the
I
diaper
mean,
to the face?
diaper to the face.
I agree with that because I think
I
the
agree.
initial introduction of the diapers is really effective.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I agree with
Because
that.
it's not like they find a dead body and you're like, okay, we get it. It's like, oh, this is really weird and
Right.
really messed up, but maybe like it can be explained away.
You know what I didn't get until rewatching it, though, is that it's awfully convenient how those crazy people hold it together real well at the beginning and like play along and then suddenly get crazier and crazier as the week goes on.
I know.
So-
And it's never fully laid out, which is fine because Shyamalan movies often lay things out a little too much.
Let's
Explain everything,
start from the beginning.
Let's start from the beginning.
M. Night Shyamalan writes a spec script, right? He's coming off of After Earth, which is coming off of The Last Airbender, which is coming off of The Happening, which is coming off of Lady in the Water,
Correct.
which is coming off of The Village. So dude's fucking smarting right now, right?
Yeah.
He writes a spec script that at the time is called Sundowning.
Correct.
And I believe he comes to Jason Blum and goes, I see what you're doing. I like what you're doing. I like this model. And M. Night puts up $5 million of his own money.
Oh, wow. It was all his own money.
He bankrolls this movie himself, fucking Georgie Lucas style.
Good job, M. Night.
He pulled
having
a Georgie
$5 million
Porgy.
to just drop on a movie.
That's what he used to make per movie.
No, I mean, I know he made a lot
So
of
he
money.
used.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe M. Night's a compulsive gambler.
He
What
might
do
be. He might be. But I'm just saying. I mean, look. Who knows how much he had saved up? I get the sense he's a little frugal. But that's my
He lives
read.
in Philadelphia.
Do you really
yeah.
like think of M. Night Shyamalan and think restraint? Is that like what you're like?
Financially, I think
Okay.
because he is. I will. Say,
You watch The Last Airbender and think financial restraint?
he is pretty formal in terms of cinematic language. You know what I'm saying? Like his directorial style, like not his writing, not his storytelling, but like the meter of like his editing and his shot composition feels like a guy who's not spending a ton of money.
Okay.
I'm talking like on like cars and shit.
I don't want to argue with you.
I don't look. It's rough theories. I'm working on. I have the charts in my room. They're tied together with push pins and red yarn.
Continue your story. He puts up money for this movie.
He got like $10 million to do The Village, right?
Sure.
So, I mean, by the time he was doing After Earth, he still probably got $5 million to direct that movie.
He probably, making money. He writes, he produces, he
Right.
always,
So he put up one of his old salaries to make this new film, goes to Blumhouse, and they make it very much off the radar. Like, I remember reading an interview with Kathryn Hahn about something else. They were like, what else do you have coming up? And she was like, well, I just did a movie with M. Night Shyamalan. And they were like, what do you mean just? We would know if there was a new M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Right.
She was like, it was a tiny little movie. We did it all in a house. I think it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
Like, people didn't even know the movie existed until she said that. I think he just went way off the beaten path. And then it was released in September, did $25 million opening weekend,
Mm-hmm.
which was seen as like good return on investment.
Yeah, it opened, it opened number 2.
Behind,
If you guess this, it made like 400,000 less than the number 1 movie of September 11th, 2015. I don't know what this movie is.
Oh wait, is it a Jesus movie?
War Room?
Close. No, it's not a Jesus movie. It is a niche audience movie. I guess you could call it that. It is a black movie.
Okay, so that's that's why you were being euphemistic.
It wasn't No Good Deed?
Not No Good Deed. Which is actually like you know,
Pretty good deed?
Okay deed. Is it okay deed? I think it's in the same. I didn't see this film, but I think it's in the same sort of wheelhouse.
What movie is it?
The Perfect Guy.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
With, I believe, Morris Chestnut's in that, is he?
And Michael Ealy, the great Michael
Ealy.
Ealy.
And Sana Lathan.
Yeah.
I don't know how you say her name.
Yeah, Sana Lathan, I think.
But that movie opened just a smidge over The Visit, but they both did well, and The Visit cleared, 65 domestic.
This is a game we do. We try to guess the top
100 mil
five
total.
from the thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you want the other three? Can you give me the other three? War Room was number 3.
War was number 3. Okay, number 4? Give me a hint.
Old guy movie made actually like a decent amount of money. No one ever even acknowledged that it existed. It made 30 mil.
Mr. Holmes?
No. Like literally, I forgot this movie existed.
But it's a movie for old guys.
Boy, is it. Do you know, Louis?
I don't.
Nick Nolte's in it.
Oh, the fucking Nick Nolte Robert Redford movie.
Correct.
A Walk in the Woods?
Boom. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Made 30
Weird.
mil.
Yeah, weird.
And on a budget of nothing.
Directed by Ken Kwapis of Dunstan Checks In fame.
And The Office. And number 5 is just like an awesome action movie that rocks. It's a sequel. It's the best. I loved it.
So it would have been, this is from Mission Impossible 5, Rogue Nation, the best of the Mission Impossible films?
Incorrect on that part, but correct on the rest of it. What's your favorite Mission Impossible movie, Louis? Everyone's different.
I have only seen the first 3.
Gotta get to the 4th and 5th.
I know.
They're really good.
I'm a little behind.
Yeah,
I'll
really
get there.
I think those are the rewards.
Yeah, I agree.
I have to rewatch The Visit every weekend. So
Yeah,
that takes
just
a lot of
in
time.
case we're doing a podcast about
Yeah, this worked out really well, actually.
Let's say this is actually the 20th podcast you've been on about The Visit now, right?
You'd be shocked.
Yeah.
Number 10 that week was an animated film called Un Gallo con Muchos Huevos.
Oh, yeah. Lionsgate is releasing Spanish cartoons now.
What the fuck is that?
It's about chickens on a farm. I saw the trailer, but it was in
Yeah, but that
Spanish, so I don't
sounds
know
like-
what it's about.
Yeah, but that sounds like...
Sounds like someone with big balls.
Yeah, I think that's like a double entendre.
I think it's like a chicken with big eggs or something.
No, it's-
like
I mean, I think that is literally what it means, yes. With many eggs, I think.
I saw...
lots of eggs.
Yeah.
I saw The Mermaid in theaters last week.
A rooster with many eggs. What?
I saw The Mermaid, the Stephen Chow
the
movie.
Stephen Chow movie.
It's one of my favorite movies of the year. It's
We're
incredible.
really bouncing all around here.
Yeah, but there's a moment in the film where there's clearly some kind of wordplay. And I saw it in the theater, and I was probably one of 3 Caucasian people in the theater. Everyone else was like a native.
And most of the audience lost it?
Yeah, they were like native Mandarin speakers, right? And there's some
And you only
moment-
speak Cantonese.
I only speak Cantonese,
Right.
which was and that always fucking bites me in the ass.
But it's great for Wong Kar-wai.
Yes, only. But he's yet to hire me.
What if Wong Kar-wai hired you?
What if he's listening to this podcast?
What if Wong Kar-wai just directed episode 3 of The Tick?
Wong
Like he
Kar-wai-
did one episode of an Amazon superhero show. Wong Kar-wai might listen to our podcast. Let's be honest.
Wong Kar-wai, if you're
Kar-wai
listening
might.
to this podcast, you're my favorite filmmaker. I would love to talk to you someday.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that we intimated that Christopher Doyle was a jerk on our Lady in the Water episode.
Yeah, but you probably know that.
Yeah, you probably know that.
You worked with him long enough. You're probably like, I know he's a piece of shit, but he's my friend.
Anyway, carry on. The audience lost it at a joke you didn't understand.
There's a moment where they're talking about he wants to go eat chicken. And he's like, what? And then they cut to her holding up 2 physical chickens. And the audience laughs because they're like, oh, she meant that kind of chicken.
Not the other kind of chicken that we don't know.
And then she keeps on talking about it. He's like, you want me to eat that already? And she's like, yeah, but we have to pluck it first. And he's like, what?
So this is like a big sex thing.
It's a vagina thing.
The audience was
Is it like
losing it.
the turkey time joke in Geely?
It's something like that. But the audience
Very
was
gobble
going,
gobble.
going fucking bananas.
Wow.
Like it was like the Beatles playing Ed Sullivan. The audience was going insane.
Yeah.
And then I looked it up afterwards, and some of you said it was a slang for prostitute. But then the joke still doesn't track for me, which means I think every single word they were using had a different
Right.
so
They
like,
just
you
had
gotta-
to remake
You
the
gotta
whole...
pluck it first? It's like pluck a prostitute. That still doesn't make any
But,
sense for
look,
me.
yeah, come on. Not everything's gonna... Humor does not...
No, I was just
Yeah.
surprised because it was the one joke in the movie that didn't translate. Because he's a very visual filmmaker. It's a great movie. You should go see it. Anyway, The Visit was directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
Also funny.
His 11th film released on September 11th. We never forgot. It's very funny. Here's the setup for the movie that he paid for out of pocket. 2 kids.
2 kids, played by Olivia de Jong and Ed Oxenbould.
Both,
Australian.
which is interesting.
I'm nodding because I knew that. I didn't
Yeah.
say it, but I know that.
But for the listener at home, Lewis knew that.
I nodded.
Knew that shit.
Yeah. This film's about the two siblings, much like this podcast is about hashtag the two friends.
Yeah, we didn't say that in the last episode.
No, fuck. We're trying to brand this. I don't know if you know this, Louis, but David and I are friends, and we think that's like an interesting like marketing hook for the show.
Yeah.
Is that like we're like the two friends who host a podcast together?
Right.
Because I think most shows don't have that going for them.
Yeah, no, totally. It's like how Noah Ringer's Wikipedia page says that he likes to hang out with his friends. Because you never know what kind of person you
never
you're
know.
dealing with.
That guy could be a lone wolf, a good total lone wolf. We looked up Noah Ringer before we recorded this.
Yeah, it was great.
We
should do a whole episode about Noah Ringer's Wikipedia page.
God, what if we could fucking get him on the show?
Have him on the show. Come on.
Where do you think he lives?
Fuck. I was gonna try to remember the name of the place where The Last Airbender takes place.
The Four Kingdoms.
Yeah.
He lives in the Southern
lives in the
Water
Four
Kingdom.
Kingdoms, yeah.
He's from Dallas.
Okay.
He rides in his flying buffalo.
Yeah, I think you're talking about Appa. Jesus Christ, Louis.
Correct. He's homeschooled. Anyway, back off of his
a
page.
lot of sense. that really tracks.
All right. The visit.
Okay.
The visit. The
Stop
visit.
saying mean things about kids.
Yeah, seriously.
He's 19.
Yeah, he's now an adult.
Yeah.
That's true. So
Yeah.
we can shit all over him.
Yeah.
Much like Tyler gets shit all over him in The Visit.
Oh, good segue.
Becca and Tyler.
Yep.
Becca's what, 13?
Two
Tyler's
Australians
like
with
10.
good American
Yeah,
accents.
they don't seem Australian.
Yeah, they're like 13, 10, maybe like 12, 9.
No, I think he's like at least 11.
Yeah. I guess Becca's like 14.
He had previously played Alexander in Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day.
Not a film I saw.
I think he's actually 12, I'm going to say. At least 12.
Really?
Maybe even 13. I'm going to keep
so-
upping his age.
Well, I think he makes a joke. The actor is now 14. He makes a joke that she like is doesn't even have boobs yet, right? Like, but I think he's supposed. Remember that it's early in the movie.
Yeah, I hate that.
It's not. Yeah, I know. So it's supposed to. He's supposed to be hitting on her. She's probably supposed to be like 14 or 15, right? He's saying like,
Yeah.
So yeah, he has to be.
Yeah.
He's 12, she's 14.
His
That's
voice
sounds right.
hasn't
Let's go with that.
broken, so he's right.
But I think he's
getting
insecure
there.
about his lack of puberty.
Right.
Because he's small.
Let's
He's
all
small.
put our hands in the middle
Uh-huh.
and just vow that for the rest of the podcast,
They're 14 and
we're
12.
just going to say they're 12 and 14.
Great.
We're going to stick
Good
with
job,
that,
guys.
okay?
All right, it's warm in here.
One,
Get your hands out
2,
of here.
3, 12 and 14.
All right.
Okay.
That
Okay.
didn't work.
Works for me.
No, okay, that's good.
Ah, that's great.
So, but
I'm like Noah Ringer. I like hanging out with friends.
and posting on your personal Facebook page.
Yeah.
So Becca and Tyler,
Mhm.
2 kids.
Yep.
They got a mom
Hashtag the two kids. Yeah. They got a mom. They do got a mom.
whose name is Loretta,
Played by the great Kathryn Hahn.
who kills it in this
Oh,
movie.
God.
Lewis, are you with me?
Yeah, no, she's great.
I mean, maybe underused.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's in my least favorite part of the movie. So it's like
You mean the end?
the ending. I think she's wonderful, obviously.
I think that her bit at the beginning when she's walking alongside the train, and at first she's kind of jokingly
Yeah.
walking, and then she's running, and then she actually gets sad and starts
Yeah.
crying. Like, Kathryn Hahn's the greatest actress.
She's a great actress. She can do literally anything.
She's got basically nothing to do there. I mean, like,
Yeah.
just fuck
Wait,
around for a second.
There's one thing she can do.
What?
Did you watch the Ab Fab American remake
I did
No.
not.
pilot?
No.
Holy shit!
Who was it? It was her and who?
Look it up because it is.
It wasn't Christine Hine. Jessica. What? It was someone else.
Just look at gotta look it up because I don't remember. It is the pilot is online or maybe clips of it and is one of the worst things I've ever watched. It's
Oh, right. Kristen Johnson from Third Rock.
Oh,
it is
interesting.
it's horrendous.
Yeah.
The
From
American
about
Ab
6
Fab.
years ago, I think,
Yeah.
or 7 years ago.
That's the one thing.
The one thing she can't do. Everything else she does is perfect.
They never should have tried to do that.
No.
though.
No, it was
Yeah.
a terrible
That's-
idea.
that's
It's not,
crazy.
it's
It's a possible
It's not
task.
her fault, but
No.
but it is like the worst thing she's done.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll say this though. She's been very good in a lot of very bad films. Like she has
That is true.
many times in the past stood out to me as like that's an actual good performance in the middle of shit.
What's your favorite Kathryn Hahn movie?
My favorite Kathryn Hahn movie? Ugh. Jesus Christ. Step Brothers.
Probably Step Brothers.
All right.
That's my favorite movie she's in. I think she's great in that.
She's very funny in Step Brothers.
But you know what I
I
jumped to?
my favorite
I would
performance.
say Afternoon Delight.
I haven't seen Afternoon Delight.
Afternoon
That's on
Delight's
me.
good, and she's
That's
great
on
in
me.
it. And she's also great in Jill Soloway's Transparent, which is also she made Afternoon Delight, right?
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
I'll tell you the moment though that Kathryn Hahn really stuck in the craw.
She's a
for
sexy
me.
rabbi in Transparent.
I'm gonna watch. I haven't watched Transparent either. Do you know that?
They're gonna Amazon's not gonna like this.
Yeah.
That's actually true. Good
Okay,
point.
but I
Cut
do.
that out,
I have
Ben.
a Prime membership. Amazon.
So it doesn't matter what you watch; they don't care. They
Yeah.
got the money.
I'll sign up for Fresh.
I think she's great in lots of movies. She's in what else is she in? She's in Anchorman. She's in Tomorrowland.
The one where she really stood out for me because I was like, This
Wanderlust.
movie's not working. Oh, she's great in Wanderlust. This movie's not working, and she just like immediately for like 5 minutes imbued it with real life. The scene of her delivery in How Do You Know?
Right.
Is great.
And we were just talking about How Do You Know?
We were just talking about How Do You Know, which
while
is
you
crazy.
While you were watching this movie.
As I have not thought about that movie in many years.
That is a great scene, though, where they ask Paul Rudd to film the birth, and then he realizes that, it's her husband proposes to her while right after the baby's born in the hospital. She keeps on complaining about the fact that he hasn't popped the question. And then they ask Paul Rudd to film it, and then he proposes, and then Paul Rudd realizes he wasn't filming, and they have to recreate the moment.
How do you remember so much about How Do You Know?
I don't know.
How do you remember so much?
I don't know. I went to that movie with really high expectations. Even after the reviews were bad, I was like, but they don't understand it. I get James L. Brooks in a way that other people don't. Me and Jimmy are on the same wavelength, and then
And then how did you feel after?
I
Naive?
Yeah, I feel like a real dummy. I had
The
a real
Visit.
poopy diaper on my face.
The Visit.
And that's a segue to The Visit. Kathryn Hahn, the great Kathryn Hahn, has these 2 children. Her husband left her.
Yeah. This is a recent scar that these kids are bearing.
She was a young mom, dropped out of high school, got pregnant.
With her substitute teacher.
Yeah, right.
And her parents disapprove.
Hated it.
They
She
sure did.
delivers this all to in a straight-to-camera monologue at the beginning of the movie.
This movie's not found footage, but it
is found footage.
But here's what I like about it.
But
I
it
like
is
this-
edited. You get the
Yes.
idea that the kids edited it later,
That
right?
this movie
Which
is the
makes
finished.
no sense,
It makes
but-
no
Doesn't make a
sense.
ton of
But this
sense.
movie is the finished film that the character intended to make.
Right. He
Whereas
wants to make they say they're making
I
a
think
documentary.
I think
It's a half measure.
No, I think it kind of is that, and the musical cues line up with that, but at the same time, it doesn't make any sense if you think about it as an edited film.
It
There's
doesn't
no
work-
reason
no.
why she would have included the footage of her brother getting a shit diaper in the face.
Hey, man.
Look, it doesn't track 100%, but on the other hand, if you watch Chronicle and you're like, this is just the
but-
moments they chose to turn the camera on.
I hate Chronicle for that
I
very
like
reason.
it, but I just wish it wasn't found footage. I think the
just
found footage
the
thing
end
is
where
such
he's
a
like,
fucking...
I'm going to go fight him in the sky. I have to bring the cat. He literally, it doesn't matter.
And they're levitating the camera with their powers. Paranormal Activity is the one where it's the first Paranormal Activity is totally a found footage movie because a lot of boring shit happens.
Right.
They make it look like this is really just
I think
raw
a lot
data
no, I
from
think a lot of-
tapes.
I think a lot of found footage works, but it works best if you think of it as someone pieced this together. It's not any sort of edited version of
Right. I like that The Visit is this was edited. I like that they upfront are this is the finished film.
Well, I liked also that when she had the camera toward the end, it kind of made sense why.
Yeah.
She was using it for light.
Yeah, and M. Night also very cleverly, I feel gets a lot of mileage. M. Night's always been good at getting tension out of cinematic space. Your sense of the size of a room, the proximity between people, and changing those distances and things like that. And he uses the fact that found footage a lot to the camera's here for some practical reason, which means you can't see everything, or this angle's weird, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He gets tension out of the limitations of it in a way that I think a lot of found footage filmmakers don't. But this is stylistically a huge departure for him
Very much so.
because he's been this very formalist, very tight, sort of tied down, not even that much camera movement kind of guy, you know, and very deliberately paced. And this film's a lot of handheld, shot by Maurice Alberti, who's started out in documentaries, now has become a fiction film cinematographer, one of the best.
Wait,
but
they
her
had
style.
I thought it was just the kids filming.
No, Lewis. No.
They have
actually.
someone doing it.
Yeah, Ed Oxenbould was also DP on this.
No, he was camera operator. Yeah,
Second
camera
operator.
That's why they had to find a kid from Australia, because they needed a kid who could both act and operate a camera at the year of 12. 12 is the age, yeah.
We said it was 12.
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 So they're going to see their grandparents,
Mhm.
who distanced themselves from their mother
Yes.
after she got knocked up by the high school substitute teacher or whatever.
He left her for a younger woman.
He left her. She's going on a singles cruise or something.
Yeah, she's not
Or
doing
no,
that
she's
hot.
going on a
she's
cruise
the
with a new
guy.
boyfriend,
She's got
right.
the new boyfriend, but she's not been doing that hot.
And Han, you just sort of, she's perfect. You get oh, this is someone who's maybe a little wilder in their youth.
Yeah.
Is more settled down now, but is not totally let that go. I love Kathryn Hahn.
And she also, you're getting the sadness without her playing it too overtly, because all the scenes you're seeing of her are her performing for her kids and acting like she's happier than she is.
Yeah.
But
then
the
when she
kids
gets on
know.
the cruise, they know.
They know. Yeah.
They know. And you get the underlying sense of it.
Cocaine out of my way.
Once she gets on the cruise, you're seeing these clips of her actually having fun.
Right.
But the opening
Without
sections,
her fucking kids.
Yeah.
In the way.
yeah, without these bummer Aussie
Okay,
kids.
but what? So she sends them to go see their grandparents, whom she hasn't spoken to in forever.
Right.
Why did she send her 12 and 14-year-old kids by themselves on a train trip to see these people she hasn't talked to in like a decade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd think she would drop them off.
I guess the only cover is like, well, the wound is so raw still between her and her grandparents or whatever.
It's weird.
It's weird.
That's one of those moments that I.
It's a twist.
I mean, it's a
like
it's the
to
big hoop he
necessitate
needs
a
for
twist.
the yeah.
And you buy it, kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't know. Yeah. Right? I mean, kind of.
Kind of.
It like whatever. Like the movie moves so sort of rapidly that you're just like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
They get to the house.
They meet them at the train station. They introduce them to sign. Like, this is
they have a little sign.
This is my Nana. This is my Pop. Yeah.
which she came up with just then, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Deanna Dunnigan plays Nana.
Excellent performance.
Great actor.
And Peter McRobbie plays Pop. Peter, he's also a great actor.
What have I seen Deanna Dunnigan in before? Is she mostly a stage actress?
August Osage County.
The stage. I believe
Yeah,
she
I
won
saw
a
that.
Tony.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And Peter McRobbie, I was just seeing him in Daredevil.
He's in everything.
He's
He
in a
plays
lot.
the
He's in
pastor in
Boardwalk
Daredevil.
Empire.
Yeah, he's in so much.
But rarely does he get to shove a shitty diaper into a child's face.
Maybe never before.
That is
I think
true.
that happened on Boardwalk Empire.
No,
right.
on Box Office Mojo, to do a bit we did in last week's episode. This is the #1 diaper to face movie ever made. Yeah.
Even adjusted for inflation,
Even
it's
adjusted
still
for
number
inflation.
one.
I would actually check that. I feel like that's possibly not true.
You're quite right, because there might be some like kids movie where someone gets a diaper. In the
You
face.
never know.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not going to Google
Just
diaper
don't
in the
even bother.
face.
Yeah.
You know what?
what? Jurassic Park does have that scene where Jeff Goldblum shoves his diaper in Laura Dern's face. We forgot that.
Sorry.
We all forgot.
I forgot
that.
about that.
Yeah.
It's gratuitous.
That's a shitty scene. No pun intended. I'm sorry. I did bad.
All right,
Fuck.
The grandparents picked them up.
-4 comedy points.
The grandparents picked them up
Yes.
at the train station.
Mhm.
Guess where it is? It's in Pennsylvania.
Right outside Philly.
Every fucking M. Night movie just is in Pennsylvania.
Is that like he's like that's his Stephen King Maine?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Don't you wish that in After Earth, when they land and they're like, this planet we used to live on.
One's called Philadelphia.
Yeah, I wish they had just gone Philadelphia.
I thought that would have been amazing.
They should have at one point, he should have found the sign.
The Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
He like comes across the Liberty Bell overgrown with weeds.
Yeah. Because in his mind, he thought it was Philly.
Yeah, well.
It definitely was, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're on the Pennsylvania main line or something like
Do you think the first dance at M. Night's wedding was to Bruce Springsteen's song from the movie Philadelphia, The Streets of Philadelphia?
Absolutely.
Do you think he jerks off to that song?
What a dark choice
that'd
for
be
a wedding.
Terrible wedding song, by
He
the
just
way.
loves Philly so
about
much.
AIDS and homelessness or whatever.
The people who lived in Philadelphia hate that movie was called
I know, like
Philadelphia.
finally we got a movie called Philadelphia. What's it about?
AIDS.
Who does? Oh, Dad! I love
Yeah,
Denzel Washington.
yeah.
He plays who?
Yeah.
He plays a homophobic lawyer. Okay, all right. Well, Tom Hanks though.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
It's like if you
He's
made
so funny.
It's like if you made a movie called New York City and it was all about institutionalized sexism. It's like, well, this is one thing. It's just that's where the movie takes place. It doesn't mean it's about New York.
It is like were they just like
Isn't the plot of Slaves in New York?
right? Were they just like let's Philadelphia? Like
Yeah.
what was the conversation about titling a movie? Were they just like they're like
I think AIDS was too on the nose.
Yeah.
And they were like,
And they thought about AIDS guy, and that sounded reductive.
right.
he's more than an AIDS guy, goddammit.
Yeah.
He likes opera.
But that was the thing. Big was so big, they were like, people like these Hanks movies with short titles.
Bam! Good title.
AIDS.
Splash.
Splash.
What if it was called Splash again? Anyway, look, guys, The Visit.
He certainly made a big splash in that courtroom.
The Visit.
The Visit. It's directed by M. Night Shyamalan. It's his 11th film. It was released September 11th, 2015.
Well, I think the reason we're struggling to get back on track with the plot of The Visit is that it's not a plotting movie.
It's not a plotting movie.
But it's just such a good hook. I remember when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, that's a great idea for a
Good
movie.
hook.
Because who hasn't been afraid of their fucking grandparents being weird?
Not I.
Like, it's playing on that anxiety of like, oh, you're in a new house, you're a kid,
Yeah.
and you're used to your routines. And, maybe you're like with your grandmother and like her false teeth fall out, and you're like, oh my God, she's a fucking alien.
Yeah. Have you guys seen The Taking of Deborah Logan?
No. I
Okay,
don't even
so
know what that
that's
is.
also a found footage movie.
Okay.
Is it also Blumhouse?
It's not.
Okay.
I don't think it was. It was a Netflix. I think it was straight to Netflix.
Looks creepy from the Google.
Okay,
see.
so
Let me
that's
see.
a movie in
Turn your
which.
computer
All right,
around.
he's turning the computer around.
Oh, creepy.
So
oh, creepy.
it's a demonic possession movie, but it's about a woman making a documentary about Alzheimer's, following this woman around, and the symptoms of Alzheimer's.
Wow.
Like reflect, like so, it's very unclear if like this is just dementia,
And people keep saying like, "Wow, it's just Alzheimer's."
right? There's
right.
like the behaviors that's like the aggression and like the mood swings and like the weird nudity and all that stuff is like all explained by being old and having problems with your brain. And I feel like that the visit does a very similar
it
thing.
works on that same
Absolutely.
thing, and it's a very clever hook because it's like it's already scary to spend time with someone who's losing their mind.
Right.
Right? And when it's an old person and you're like, oh, fuck, this might just be them slowly rotting,
I
like
mean,
from
and
the
that-
inside out.
That's what works about this sort of premise that they haven't seen them in a long time.
Yeah.
You know, the mom hasn't seen them in
Yeah.
a long time. It's like she can't say to them like, well,
That's just
you
what
know,
grandpas
my
do.
mom is like totally weird and like walks around their house naked at night. Like,
Yeah.
you know, she's like, it's too long for her. Like maybe
Yeah.
they're just going crazy.
Maybe they're just old now. Maybe
Yeah.
they're just getting senile.
Maybe they just spilled pancake batter or whatever it was on the
So
camera.
perfectly
This
placed.
movie looks fucking scary, by the way. The Logan.
Take it over Logan. It's yeah, I really like that movie. You should watch it.
Yeah,
Not right now,
Jesus.
but
no, I'm not going to watch it right this second.
That's our first official Pites pick. Pa-ching!
All right.
Pites pick.
Let's pick.
hashtag it.
So yeah, pretty quickly, the grandparents are pretty normal in the daytime.
Yeah.
We should also talk about the kids keeps rapping.
Do we have
to talk about that?
Well, we just did, I guess. That and your reaction says it all, right?
Kid likes rapping. What's his name? Is
It feels
T Stylist Moneybags or
M. Night clearly, you have to think one of M. Night's kids is taken with freestyle rapping,
yeah.
and he was like, "Oh, that's like what the kids do."
I have to say, I wasn't super impressed by his pineapple upside down cake rap.
No,
It's
it
not
was
the
not
best.
very good.
No,
It's mostly impressed with itself for including pineapple upside down cake.
I did appreciate that his sister called him out on his misogyny.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I was like, good. You end every rap with hoe.
But also, all his raps, they don't fit into the right meter. Like, they're always a couple extra syllables.
He's not great.
That's on M. Night, though.
Well,
Is
maybe
it?
he's
I don't
supposed to
know.
be bad. Maybe it's supposed to be. There's the scene with the train conductor that is a bridge too far.
Yep.
Like, we don't need that.
Yeah.
No,
No, it's definitely like Liev Schreiber and Scarlett Johansson on Broadway. That is a bridge too
that
far.
was a view from the bridge.
Oh,
my
God
friend.
damn it!
Oh my God! I really pushed your button there.
Because it would have been such a good joke.
It would
Otherwise,
have been
such
great.
a good
unfortunately, it's not even the most recent production.
I know,
of View
there's
from
a
the
Mark
Bridge.
I
Strong
know,
one
the
that just
more recent
closed.
one was better.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It was so good. It was
So
great.
good.
I just couldn't
I
name
was
a
on the
second
stage.
Me too.
In the front row. It was
Incredible.
really great. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
with
I
your
just-
coworker, Rachel Sanders. Shout out Rachel Sanders.
Worst joke of all time.
Hey. What's
Hey.
up, guys?
When I don't know, I think the twist in this movie is obvious from pretty early on, but I don't think your enjoyment of the movie
Agreed.
I think it's fine. Like you can totally enjoy the movie.
I
even
think
knowing
that's
that.
the key to this movie is that Shyamalan made a twist movie again for the first time in a long time, but he didn't hinge the movie on it.
Well, and here's the other
You know
thing.
something fucked up's gonna
No,
happen.
but I think that there's a lot of false flags.
Sure.
Yeah.
As I would call them, of supernatural elements that you think might come into play.
Mhm.
But I think that just the fact that it's there's so much effort made for Kathryn Hahn to not see the grandparents that it just becomes pretty obvious that it's not going to be them.
Well, okay, so this was my thing. First of all, the twist happens 25 minutes before the movie ends. So whereas most of his films, he drops the twist at the end and it's the final bombshell, this he allows essentially a full act to play out in the wake of the twist.
Yeah.
Which is better, right? We get
Right.
to see the consequences of that twist.
But also, it doesn't really matter what the twist is because
Exactly.
it's so
It's
creepy
scary.
by that point and it's
Right.
scary. It doesn't really matter what happens.
Yeah,
Because it's a
the
plot move.
scares
It's
are
not the
from they're
finale.
in this
Yeah.
backwoods town. They don't have a phone signal. The doors are locked, and there's this rule really early on that's good. It's a good rule,
Yeah.
like the Gremlins rule of don't come out of your room after 9:30. Because that's when things go bump in the night.
Yeah.
You don't want, and they don't say why or anything like that.
They don't
but-
actually say don't go out of your room at 9:30, do they?
They
no,
say-
he does. His dad says it.
The first
grandpa.
time he just says
We go to bed
we're,
early,
we're,
right?
we're old. We go to bed early,
Right.
9:30. And then the second time he says, "I really
Well,
think it's best if
okay,
you don't."
yeah.
It's
But I was
after he sees the grandma barfing,
Right.
walking and
Yeah.
just
Right.
spewing vomit down the
So
stairs.
I didn't see the twist coming, but it's because and this is like me just being,
You're overthinking it?
Yeah, because I didn't know this was a twist movie, right? I'd only been told recently, like, oh no, it has a twist.
Uh-huh.
So I went into it, and there's the shit where, like, she talks about, like, the creatures in the water and stuff.
Oh, right.
And I was like, is he fucking gonna do? Are they gonna be aliens or something?
Right, and then the grandpa Pop-Pop's talking about the little white
Yeah, the
person
little man
Right.
who's like following around with yellow eyes or
like,
whatever. Yeah.
I was really afraid it was gonna be something a lot bigger and crazier.
Sure.
I thought, especially because of how much they pushed the oven thing in the trailer.
They're going to cook and eat.
I thought it was gonna be a fucking modern Hansel and Gretel.
That's obviously what they're going for.
Yeah, but I thought they were literally gonna make it like, oh, she's a witch and she's gonna put you in like a
Right.
fucking candy
Sure.
cage. Like I thought, because there were a couple things they mentioned Candy Bunch in the beginning. They have her clean out the oven. I was like, it's gonna get supernatural.
Right.
And I appreciate that's just like they're crazy people.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're crazy
But
murderers.
the thing is, they're
Yeah.
also dropping that. They drop
Yeah.
references to the mental institution
Yep.
and to
Right.
the fact that they volunteer there.
But that's
and
the thing
stuff.
is, like, when that guy shows up and they're not there and he's like, they haven't been to work, I was just like, okay, so they're like obviously dead somewhere.
Well, let me also say spoilers.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert.
guys, if you listen to this podcast, you know we talk about the whole.
I mean,
fucking
I'm
movie.
joking.
Come on.
I'm joking.
Yeah. Okay.
It was like a winking kind of like spoilers.
Yes. Let's talk about the things they do before this twist,
Yeah.
right? So there's the grandma's like barfing all over the house.
Yeah, she also gets butt ass naked.
Butt ass naked.
Stands against the door.
What else?
She plays hide and seek
Yeah.
in the most terrifying scene in the
where,
movie.
Under
where
the
they're like
house.
under the house.
Yeah.
And I guess, are they looking for something at that point, or are they
No,
just
they're
kind of
just-
fucking
no,
around?
they're just-
The
having
mom had
fun.
told him that she liked playing hide and seek under the house.
And so she just pops up in front of the camera and is like, ah!
But she's fast.
it
She's
is
on
so
all fours.
scary.
Is that the
scene
part
so
you texted
scary.
me about?
Oh, I texted Griffin that I startled someone awake this morning.
Humble brag.
All right. All right.
We can cut that
Watching The Visit. No, it's fine.
No, go ahead.
That's all I have.
But because you yelled aloud?
Yes,
yeah.
because it's scary.
But it
Had
was
you
that
seen
moment,
the movie
right?
before?
I had seen it, and
Right.
I was watching it again, and I was like, I won't be scared. But I was watching it with my earphones in, and
Which is really the craziest way to take in a horror movie. It's whenever I watch a horror movie on headphones, I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this
it's
myself.
horrible.
But can we talk about, like, Nana's fucking booking it in that moment?
Oh, she is
Because she's on hands
all
and
fours.
knees. She's moving at the speed of a scrunt. I mean, it is
grunt speed, baby.
unbelievable.
Well, I think it definitely plays into the fact that like you think she's going to be some sort of creature
Yes.
because she seems
Yes.
very.
See that right. At that point, I
In
was
that
like,
classic
yes.
Blumhouse,
Yeah.
that's a classic Blumhouse scare where something suddenly moves too quickly. Basically,
right.
something like rushes at a camera.
I was like,
or
it's
something
gonna
like that.
be supernatural. It's gonna be a witch, an alien, something.
No.
But no.
But,
but what else?
but after that, she goes back to normal, which actually makes it scarier because like
Right. Yeah.
they keep going back and forth between being totally crazy and
Well,
totally chill.
They have episodes.
When
one
he
might say.
wrote this script, the spec script, the title of it originally
Sundowning,
was
yeah.
Sundowning.
Right.
and they
which
do have a reference to it in the movie.
They explain at a certain point in the movie that's a sort of like conditional dementia that kicks in when the sun goes down.
Not a real thing, right?
Is it not a real thing?
I have no idea.
Can we
I
Google
can
it
look
right
up.
now?
It is a symptom of Alzheimer's disease with confusion and agitation worse in the evening.
Okay.
Perhaps a slight exaggeration.
So it's like
of
a
this.
form of, yeah. But I think that it preys upon that fear that we all
Sure.
have, like really, really well, and it also makes it scarier because it's like I don't know.
But
if
the
I
hide
can
and
trust
seek
this
thing is during the
person.
day.
Yeah,
But also, it's like not. There's nothing wrong theoretically with chasing your grandchildren under a house.
no. I'm just saying the movie works
But-
with these ebbs and flows where it's
Right,
like
right,
they
right.
can go back to normal any one scene,
Right.
and because they're saying like we're dealing with senility and we're dealing with this like daylight issue,
Right.
You never know what you're gonna fucking get. Classic Forrest Gump style. So it works on that really well. Like it's a clever kind of fucking device.
Right.
The Pop has his moments too, but they're more like normal old people moments.
Pop
Right,
keeps on
'cause-
going off to a shed. He doesn't want them in the shed. Then they get in there. There's a pile of diapers, and he likes to poop his pants and then put the diapers on the table.
He doesn't. I don't think he likes to poop his pants.
You're
I
right.
think
You're right.
I
He
think
loves it. He loves to poop his pants, and then he puts them on a diaper pile on the table.
He also gets dressed up to go to a party.
He does.
Yeah, he thinks he's going to a
Dresses up in
costume
a
party.
Aw.
Yeah.
And
That's
he
very
he
sad
looks so
pawpaw.
handsome in that little tux.
That reference will be gone
That's
in 2 weeks.
I'm trying to ground this in the time period, guys.
in 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, he's going to be dead.
Sad Papa. Oh boy.
Wait.
Sad Papa will have
He
attacked
ate
his
too
children
many
with
burgers.
diapers.
alone. He's gone.
They started like stuffing him with burgers because they were like, "It's the moneymaker. We're gonna be famous forever." Sad Papa. Chicken parm this week. All right. Anyway. All right. Yeah. No. What's the other thing he does though? Because there's the diapers. There's the tux. I think
He's also
he
shotgun.
thinks someone's following him, so he like attacks a guy in the
that's
street.
the thing.
right.
That's
Yes,
the thing.
yes.
That's right. Yeah. He thinks that there's like a demonic person following him. Yeah.
But like all normal old people, like scary old people behavior.
Exactly. And like this is often like the kids will go to the other grandparent, and the other grandparent will say like, "Oh, he's like a little demented," or like, "Oh, he's incontinent."
He's
and
a very
he doesn't-
physical
he's
man. He's
Yeah.
ashamed that he's not as strong as he used to be.
And like, oh, why is she vomiting and naked? Oh, she has the stomach flu.
Why is she scratching at the walls and
Well, that happens. So that's a great scene.
Yes.
Right. That's sort of
Yes.
midway through the movie. They decide we're going to leave a secret camera downstairs to watch what happens at night. And she's like wandering around.
I love that they have two cameras. That
Yeah.
that he's just like, why not just fucking give him a second camera?
Two cameras.
Yeah.
And then she just sort of pops up in front of the camera
it's
again.
so scary.
It's great. And gets a knife
Yeah.
and tries to go into their room, right?
And then it's just them closed door, and they hear the scratching from the door. It's great.
Fucking great.
Let's just
It's
say
very Paranormal Activity 3, except no supernatural.
the best one.
But the two kids.
No.
Which is your favorite one?
I don't know. I haven't seen them. They also all blend together. It's like
Yeah.
I've watched all those together and all the Saw movies, and like I can barely tell you the differences.
I've admittedly only
Because to me, with Paranormal Activity,
Yeah.
I agree on the Saw movies. But for me, 1 and 3 are great, and the others didn't do anything.
Yeah, see, I think I only saw 1 and 3, and I think I preferred 3 to 1.
I've seen 1 through I think 4 or 5.
So you didn't see the Ghost Dimension?
No,
Is that what it was called?
Yes. Did you see the marked ones?
no.
No, me neither. I've only seen 1, 2, 4, 1,
So
2, 3,
there
and
were
4.
4
Yeah.
numerated sequels, and then 2
And then
like
it goes 1, 2, 3, and then then the marked ones, then 4, then Ghost Dimension.
Actually,
Right.
I'm going to say this about the Saw series: is that generally, like in the like the there's some sort of the main plot in the movie. I can usually distinguish between them, like what's
Sure.
going on. It's the overarching like
The
terrible
Saw mythology.
The mythology
Right.
that's it's like worse than X-Files
Especially since
convoluted.
they
It's
kill-
so
They
bad.
kill him off really early.
In 2?
I think at the end of 3 he dies.
Yeah, 3 I think it is.
Okay.
And then,
there's
but
like
then there's all this shit where they
there's
keep bringing him back.
flashbacks, and people who are dead are always alive
Yeah.
and always doing shit
Luke Danes is in it for a while. He's
For-
in like 3 of them.
for too long.
Yeah.
there's 7 Saws. Is that right?
Kostas Mandel. Is that what's this guy's name? I'm not making it up. It's something Greek.
Yeah, let me find it.
Because now I feel like I'm making up a name.
Kostas Mandylor.
Okay, I was
Wow.
I was
Very
on the right track.
He's kind of the sub-villain, right? Like he sort of takes over.
or is he?
And he's a Mandalorian, right?
He is a Mandalorian,
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
from Mandalore.
Yeah.
Star Wars, shout out there.
Star Wars shout out to Star Wars.
Shout out to the bad Star Wars movies. Fuck, I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, anyway, Paranormal Activity 3 is the 80s one, and that's really good.
Yeah, see, I like
That's
the
the one with the-
aesthetics.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thinking the 2 girls in the bedroom.
A great scene.
And it's
the
also
red
the one with
rum.
the oscillating,
Yep.
the oscillating fan camera, which is obviously completely ludicrous,
Yeah.
in terms of plausibility.
Right.
But you have that shot of the sheet falling.
I mean, I like that's VHS. Like,
Yeah,
I like,
sure.
yeah.
Speaking of VHS,
VHS?
the VHS movies are great found footage movies. Well,
They have great found footage movies in them.
Yes, exactly. They have great
and bad ones.
and bad ones. Actually, the third one's terrible.
I haven't seen the third one.
It's terrible. The first 2 I think are very. I think 2's better than 1.
What's
I
the
agree.
third one called?
VHS Viral,
Ugh.
which you know is going to be a fucking mess.
Yeah, because the second one's SVHS, right?
No, it's just VHS 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Ugh, I thought they called it SVHS.
that's a more clever idea that you came up with.
I think they talked about
This
yes,
is
it was
my new-
originally titled SVHS. But
This
then
is
they
my new
remade it.
segment where I come up with better titles for sequels.
I agree that VHS 2 is better. I think they saw VHS 1 and were like, okay,
VHS 2
here's
has
what we
has
fixed.
the cult
Yes.
one, right? And also has the GoPro zombie outbreak.
Yes.
So good.
Yeah. Those are pretty fun movies, guys.
The Visit, directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
Independent horror these days, you know?
September 11th, 2015. It's his 11th film.
So there's lots of bad things happening.
Oh, can we say this, though? Because we haven't set this up properly. The girl, the reason she's filming all of this is she's making a film. She wants to film her grandparents and get them to, like, forgive her on camera.
Yeah.
So she can make this film to show to
to
her mom.
reunite the whole
She's also
family,
really
right?
pretentious and like has aspirations of like being a great filmmaker.
Of course.
Yes,
And so
she wants-
she wants to like win an Oscar. But yes, the
She's
other
pulling at
goal
the
is that she
heartstrings.
wants to get an apology for her mom.
Well, I think it's like a double-edged sword.
Or a note of forgiveness
Yes.
for her mom.
She,
But also,
she
I
both-
think she's trying to understand why her own father left. Right?
100%.
There's that
Yeah.
element.
she both wants to like she's at a level of film obsession. You get to at that age where you're like, whatever I'm into right now, I think this is everything.
Right.
Be it like soccer or fucking filmmaking or like eating a pie or like whatever.
The
it
things
is,
that Noah
right?
Ringer's into.
Right, exactly. Having a Facebook page.
He loves it.
Yeah, you guys gotta check out Noah Ringer's Facebook
He likes
page. It's
snow-
Friendster. I mean, it's
snow-
fucking Wikipedia. What am I talking
Snow
about?
skiing.
He likes snow skiing.
Something weird like that.
Yeah, I got so worried it was water skiing for a second, and then I realized it was snow
Wait,
skiing.
okay. But here's the thing. I want to go back to the thing about her dad.
I just want to say this quick.
No, okay, go ahead.
Just before I
No,
forget.
yeah.
We're touching fingers. now.
Uh-huh.
The thing I like is that it's like at that age where you both feel like, oh, movies are what I understand, so movies are the solution for everything.
Right.
If I want my mother to reconcile with her parents, I got to use a movie. And also thinking like kind of cravenly like, oh, if I'm trying to make good movies, this is really good.
Right.
But like I can use my family's suffering for the sake of my movie. Like I think it's a pretty well-written 14-year-old girl. In
Yes,
that sense.
I thought she was really irritating in a believable way.
Yeah,
I
and
like-
the
I like
using
that.
the big dictionary words is
Yes.
like I kept on thinking he was gonna do some dumb payoff with that, like the way he does with like the water cups or whatever in Signs, and I was like, oh no, she's just like a shitty kid who wants everyone to think that she's smart.
Right.
That rings true.
Just like Shyamalan.
Yeah, that Noah Ringer is true. Lewis, what were you gonna say?
I was
wait.
going to say you have to wait a little bit because I'm going to warm up to it.
God, I can't wait.
No, I understand that like there's something connected with her making this movie with like coping with her dad leaving the family,
Mhm.
but I thought that was like the worst part of the movie is like trying to put that in there because I didn't ever believe that there was a connection between
I agree.
the main story and the dad stuff.
It just feels a little forced, and it's the one time that the found footage thing doesn't work because it feels like it's being forced into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, especially in this sort of cathartic.
Well, there's just
final
yeah.
act.
I mean, like I it doesn't really. What does it have anything to do with? Like it wasn't like if she were. Well, it wouldn't make sense either. But if she were visiting like her dad's parents, then there would be something like trying to understand him. But it's not.
Yeah.
What connection do they have to this guy who like ran away with their daughter? Like they don't care about the dad at all, and like they don't want to be part of. They weren't part of that relationship. They didn't want to have any part of it. So why would this help her understand why he left?
Yeah, I hear that.
I just don't see any connection.
Yeah, I kind of work for me. I'm just a big softie. I am fucking Mr. Softie.
You're definitely Mr. Softy.
Yeah.
I think it works. I just think it could have worked
It's
a little
forced.
better.
It's definitely
just
forced.
everything else works perfect.
Yeah.
So,
Can we talk about like okay, so The Happening, M. Night like hid behind this defense of like, it's the best B movie ever. If you think it's bad, you don't get it. I was trying to make it like that.
Yeah.
This movie is actually him being like, okay, I'm gonna go pulpy.
yeah,
I'm gonna go
this
B.
is a B movie.
This is like a real
Like if he
B
wants
movie.
to, yeah.
and it's like he dropped all his pretensions, you know? He was just like, let me focus on character.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Jerry Seinfeld vehicle.
Well, he was the first director
B
on board
movie.
that. They pushed him off that because he and Jerry were
Yeah.
fighting for
Dear,
the vision of the
dear.
film. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
dear.
Dear, oh dear.
No, his take on the movie was very strange.
You got anything?
He was for what it is.
Yeah, go on.
They thought they were in a hive the whole time, and then at the end of the movie, it turned out they were underwater.
Okay.
That was his twist.
Wow.
Also, Joaquin Phoenix is
Sorry.
going to play Jerry Seinfeld.
I just kicked someone under the table.
Someone, it was me.
All right, I'm back in it, guys. I'm back in it. I'm
no
back in it.
secrets. It was me.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah.
Hi.
So the visit, September 11th. Never forget that it came out. Yeah, no.
2015.
All right.
11th movie.
I want to talk about the weird lady who shows up because I like that scene.
Celia Keenan
Oh, yeah,
Bolger.
too.
Yes.
Great
Celia
actress.
She's a great actress. She's a Broadway star.
3-time Tony nominee.
She was in, what was she in?
Spelling Bee.
Mm-hmm.
Glass Menagerie. She played under.
She was in Saved, right? The
Yeah.
Pirates Horizons.
But she was just
Live
in
in the Piazza.
She was just in Glass Menagerie with Cherry Jones, I believe. Right? She played.
Do you think, like,
That sounds right.
do you think Knight just sees like a lot of plays on Broadway? He just
I-
loves plays
I-
because he's always hiring theater actors.
I think they're cheaper.
well,
And
Oh, I'll say this too.
and he likes East Coast.
and I also think that this is sort of unfair, but I think when you're doing I think they can also often be a little more natural, and in found footage type movies,
Yeah.
it works better to have people who are a little bit more muted in that way. I don't know, which
I will say this to you. His casting director on every one of his films,
Mhm.
I think post Wide Awake.
Uh-huh.
He's had the same cast actor on every film. His name is Doug Abel, and he is the artistic director of the Rattlesnake Theater Company.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that at all.
He also cast Wes Anderson's movies, but he doesn't do a ton of films. He does a lot of theater stuff. He was like one of the original producers of Avenue Q and stuff. And so I think Night perhaps defers to him a lot.
Interesting.
That guy's got really fucking good taste.
Question answered.
Yeah. And I think, not all the directors he works with hire as many theater actors, but I think Knight might possibly, he gets his 1 or 2 big stars in the top parts, and then
there are really no big stars in The Visit, though.
No, Kathryn Hahn's the biggest star.
Right.
And
Good
she
for
gets
her.
and Kathryn Hahn, yeah. And he's paying these people out of pocket, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for her.
Good for her.
God, what a great actress.
Han! That was a Wrath of Khan reference for you guys.
David waved his fist in the air. It worked visually.
Anyway, so this girl shows up, and I mean, the scene itself is fine. I don't know if you guys have any opinion on the scene, but the reveal of what happens to her got me.
So good.
Yeah.
That's great, and it's like the best use of found footage, right? Where we clearly see her body hanging from a tree. By the way, the third movie in which someone's hanging.
Fourth.
What am I forgetting?
Well, Sixth Sense, he sees the ghost hanging.
I know.
The Happening, he sees
People from the tree.
Right. In After Earth, there's a moment where Katai is walking by and he sees one of the other rangers hanging from the tree. One of the animals.
You're
is hung from
totally
a tree.
right. You're totally right.
He has done now
he loves
4
that
movies
visual
where people are hanging.
jolt.
Yeah.
It's like an
someone
homage
hanging.
to the hanging munchkin in The Wizard of Oz. That's not a real thing.
Creepypasta.
Yeah.
The original creepypasta.
That is the original creepypasta.
And it's a crane. It's a shadow of a crane.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's just a fucking it's like a
crane.
shadow of equipment.
No,
What
no,
about-
it's like an actual crane, like a bird.
But the ghost.
Oh, really?
it's
I'm
really?
pretty sure
Yeah.
if you look it up, it'll say that it's a actual bird.
But the ghost in 3 Men and a Baby is real, or 3 Men and a Little Lady, whichever one it is.
You mean the cardboard cutout of Gutenberg?
Oh,
yeah. Or is it Ted Danson? I don't remember which one it was.
It's of Danson because there was an abandoned plot line where Danson was in a commercial where they gave him a cardboard cutout, and they cut out the scene where they established the cardboard cutout, and they're like, "That thing's creepy. Just hide it there." Behind. They literally had a scene in the movie that explained the thing, and then cut it out, and that was the only other shot where the remnant existed.
I didn't know they took the Hanging Munchkin out of Wizard of Oz, in
They
a
erased
DVD
it?
re-release.
Wait,
Are you kidding me?
what does it say it is? I thought it was something about a bird.
Yeah, I gotta look it up. Snopes will tell me. Is also on the creepypasta.
Great.
Is it weird that every time I hear creepypasta, I get hungry?
Is it weird?
Yes, you're correct. It's a bird, maybe a peacock. Like the birds were wandering around.
Okay, yeah. Is it weird that I watched the new PB movie and thought about Slenderman the whole time?
No.
That's
Interesting.
all I'm saying.
Very interesting.
I'm gonna go down a creepypasta wiki hole tonight. I just know it. The Visit was a 2015 movie directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
What day did it come out?
September 11th, 2015.
Ah, fuck, I forgot.
Oh boy, are you enjoying this, Ben?
I've been tuning out. I'm sorry, guys.
I just feel like Ben's made 9/11 jokes in the past.
Yeah, I have. That's true.
That's 2 in
I
a
do,
row.
but I feel like you guys are really hitting it enough where I don't need to interject.
I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry. All right, okay.
Wait, who is that?
Oh boy, here we go.
Okay, yep.
Is that producer Ben?
Yeah, hey, I've been here the whole time. I'm just, working on some other stuff here, guys, but it's been great so far.
Producer Ben?
Yeah, hey.
AKA the Benducer?
Mm-hmm.
AKA the Poet Laureate?
Some call me that.
Some call you the Haas, right?
That's true.
Mr. Positive?
So, I mean, yeah, I can be a positive guy.
Birthday Benny?
Not till June.
The Tiebreaker?
If there's something I need to settle, I will.
Producer Ben Kenobi?
Right, that's the Star Wars reference.
Kylo Ben?
Yeah, that's the more
New
recent
Star
Star
Wars
Wars reference.
Peeper?
I do like to watch.
People do not call you Professor Crispy.
If they see me on the street, I might get aggressive.
But if they see you on the street, if they see you in the sheets, they should call you the Fuckmaster.
If they see you on the street in the sheets, what does that mean?
But no, I fucked up. If they see
You're trying to give him a new
if they see
new
you
nickname?
in the sheets, they should call you the Fuckmaster. But if they see you on the streets, they should greet you with a hearty hello, Fennel.
Great, that's the end of that.
Please do.
The Visit, 2015, September 11th,
Forgot.
M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh, M. Night directed
forgot?
this. I forgot that M. Night directed this. Okay.
So This girl shows up.
Oh my God, guys, come on, we're an hour in, please. Let's get somewhere with this.
She shows up at the door. I don't remember what she wants.
She's made them a bowl of creepypasta. She's made a creepypasta for them.
She made a creepypasta casserole?
She's an addict.
Right.
She's a recovering addict.
And they counseled her.
Yes.
Yes.
And she wants to thank them.
Yes.
But they're not home,
right.
I guess.
Conveniently enough, they're on a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it's like the one time they leave the house.
No, it's also when the guy stops by.
Oh,
it's like
that's
every
right.
every time someone comes by who would be able to recognize them as not being them,
Right.
they are on a walk.
Well-timed walks.
But then the dad, I guess, does talk to her. Or do we not see that ever?
Wait,
Have the grandpa talk to her at all? No. She
No,
just
they-
sort of,
they-
They do.
outside the
That's
window,
right,
they
yeah.
see, and
Yes.
it looks
and she's
tense.
clearly saying like, "Where are they?"
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Who
But it
are
is-
you?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And then, of course, they
And then
hang her from
they're
the
like,
tree.
follow me this way, and she's like, okay. And then next time we see her, she's dead.
Yeah.
Just for a second out the window.
It's such a
at
great
the door.
It's such a great shot.
It's a great shot.
Yeah.
It's when shit is about to hit the.
Well, it's after
it's when the diaper is about to hit the.
right. They know that the grandparents aren't really the grandparents, and they're trying to escape.
Yeah, and it's before they. I believe it's before they found the bodies, but it's when at a certain point in this movie, basically, they're starting to get really weirded out. They show them to the mom,
Mhm.
Right.
and she's like, "That's not my grandpa."
What's the timeline? Because she's like, I'm going to call the police and drive over there, which is going to be a long drive, we're
Right.
told.
Yeah.
She doesn't get there, and the police get there when she gets there.
Right.
So, like, there was no other police station she could have called that would have, like, been able to get to them faster? Sorry, I'm just saying. It was
the
a little...
closest police
You hear
precinct
her
was
call.
also.
She calls up, she called...
There were cops on the cruise ship with her, so I think she just was like, "Can you jump in a car and try to beat
no,
me
but
there?"
she calls, like, the local police station. They don't answer, which...
Yeah, you hear them like basically be like, "Please call again."
Right.
I'm
I'm like, you can probably find another near... like real city, and they can send people over because it's dark out by the time it's like nighttime fully. So I
This
assume
is-
that hours passed.
This is the police precinct. We can't get to the phone right now because we're too busy being folksy.
I just imagine Barney Fife coming and solving the problem.
We forgot the pancake batter thing or the biscuit. Cheddar. She makes cheddar biscuits.
She makes biscuits and gets it all over the webcam.
So perfectly placed,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Now, do we think that she did that on purpose?
I don't know.
It doesn't
It's
actually.
that weird sort of thing where all these coincidences line up. Or are they all supposed to? Or I don't know.
I don't see because I don't know how she would have thought to do that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it seems weird. But it's also so ridiculous that she would have spilled it on the camera only. It's like
Right.
not on the keyboard. It's not like
And it stays there for the rest of the movie. There's just a smudge of batter.
until she's able to,
But see, I like all those coincidences for me are totally forgiven because the tone of the film. It's such like a.
I agree.
It is so shamelessly just trying to like entertain. Like it's like a showman movie.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
I don't think it ruins the movie, but I
Yeah.
do think that like with found footage, because you have these moments that are like a little more realistic that you wouldn't see in a normal
the banal
movie.
sort of stuff.
Right. So
Yeah.
it can be harder sometimes to deal with like the those plot holes because you kind
Yeah.
of are in this world where like, and the fact that it's not supernatural, it's just like crazy people. So like I think about things like why are they always out of the house when someone stops by?
I agree.
When they're
I
never
agree.
out of the house
Yeah.
otherwise.
Yeah, the found footage thing works against it, but he gains some latitude from it being like a Jerry Seinfeld DreamWorks animation feature.
God damn it. That's all I have to say about that.
Hashtag the two friends.
No, I'm sorry. I was just reading a quote from Shyamalan that I wanted to bring up because we were just talking about this, where he said he cut the film. The first time he cut the film, it felt like an art house movie rather than a horror film, and the second time he cut it, it just felt like a comedy. Now, I don't know what he's talking about because I don't know how this could ever look like an art house movie, but I could see how it could play a little more.
I thought it was
like a
question.
straight
I thought it was
comedy.
a dark. I think it was.
I think
I think it
a
ends
very
up
dark comedy.
with it's like a horror film with like a lot of
the
comic
Yahtzee
notes.
moment is hilarious.
The
and
Yahtzee
like
moment is
The
great.
Milton Bradley Hasbro
yeah,
fight
it's
is like
all-
my favorite thing.
It's great
Yeah.
because it's like the sister's just like, why are you fighting this at this point? Like,
No,
these are two
it's the
escape mental
sisters
bases.
fighting
Right,
and
right,
the brothers like
the
just
brothers
shut
like just forget
up.
it, forget
Yeah.
it.
It used to be Parker Brothers, but then or Milton Bradley, but
Milton
then
Bradley,
Hasbro
nice.
bought it. And he's
Yeah.
like, who fucking cares? And I'm like, I do. That was me watching it. I was like, I know what toy companies bought with other toy companies. I'm the toy master. That's my new character I'm working on. He has
I
that
hate
voice.
it.
You think he's grading? Really? I was trying to make him orally pleasing.
I wanted to say.
I'm the toy
Don't
master.
say orally pleasing.
Hey, you
are.
No, I
Thank you,
understand. Okay.
Orally pleasing.
Wait, what was I going to fucking say? Oh, no. This is the kind of movie everyone laughs through, right?
Yes.
When you're in the theater, everyone's laughing.
You guys didn't see it in theaters.
No.
So I saw it in theaters. I saw it at the Vista in Los Feliz.
Congratulations.
Los
Have you been to the
Angeles.
Vista?
No, I don't think so.
It's like an old style, movie theater. It's like
that's awesome.
Yeah,
So it's like a big.
It's a big movie theater. It's a single theater, and the guy who owns it is like stands outside dressed up as characters from the movies that are there.
Oh, I know which guy you're talking about.
Yeah,
I've never been there, though.
It's like they have a lot of like any sort of like indie like UCB comedy thing. Like they premiere everything there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I saw it there, so it's like always a good audience. And yeah, people were laughing a lot. And then there was a loud yelp at the poo in the face scene.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
And
We're getting to it, guys. Don't worry.
I feel like that could be another podcast entirely.
Yeah, poo in the face.
Poo in the face.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was definitely. I thought of it. Yeah, it's a comedy in a lot of ways.
It's like a rollicking horror movie that makes you laugh.
What's a good combination of like nervous, uncomfortable laughter, like conscious jokes, things that go so far beyond the pale that like you have no
the
choice
whole
but to
getting in the
laugh.
oven stuff is like so ridiculous. She would ever,
Just really get in there.
Right.
But we were talking about how his fucking earlier movies were funny.
Yeah, we were. We were just talking about it.
But for you, it would have been a week ago.
Sure.
But and then they got so dour, and then this movie like brings back the
He's
laugh.
getting it back, and like maybe not every joke lands, and maybe we could have done with less child rapping.
Yeah, agreed.
But like,
No.
That's my number one note. First pass. M. Night.
my favorite internet comment of all time. This is a total tangent. Is when there was an article about Roman Polanski, and someone in the comments said like, "I can't believe that anyone would support this child rapper." And it was like, it's so genuine. It was so obviously intended as genuine. And it was like the idea of Roman Polanski's, it's a terrible joke, obviously, but
That's like when you're watching one of those Maddie B videos on YouTube and the comment says like, "I hate this child rapist."
oh my God.
Wait, raper would have been a better punchline for that. Fuck, scratch it.
No, it was still
It's
funny.
all good.
Whatever.
It's
It was
all
still
good.
funny.
Maddie B. You guys know Maddie B?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
My name's Roman P, and I'm here to say I'm having a tragic life today.
He's doing fine.
That's my impression of little Roman P. Oh, but as a little boy, I'm saying he would be tragic. I was trying to
Right.
set it at the time.
Given that he raped like a teenage girl in a hot tub, I think he's doing okay.
Yeah, but I'm talking before that.
Right. I get it.
He's a Holocaust survivor.
All right.
I think
all
I was
right.
understating it by
Guys,
saying
all right.
I'm
Griffin,
having a
Griffin,
tragic
Griffin.
life today. I think I got him off pretty easy.
Let's not get into Holocaust jokes too. Jesus, I already feel bad. Okay, all right.
Good podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Hey guys, the visit.
Yeah, 2015, September 11th. We remembered.
Okay. What else happened? Oh, I just accidentally clicked on the Wikipedia entry for art film, by the way.
Oh, what does it say? Give me the opening sentence.
An art film is typically a serious independent film aimed at a niche market rather than a mass market audience. Okay. Anyway.
so like Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
It's an art film.
Yeah. Well, like 2 because it's a prequel.
So they figure it out.
Yeah.
No, 2 airs is like at the same time.
Oh, it's a parallel.
It's parallel. Yeah, that's what's sort of weird about it. Anyway, the visit. What happens is they eventually find out that it's not their grandparents.
Right.
In a really good scene because I think Kathryn Hahn plays it so well because she's like she has to like keep it calm and keep it together, but
Right,
she's like
still
totally
trying to be
freaking
mom,
out.
but she's also obviously like, it's okay, I'll just call. I'm gonna make a phone call to the police right now. But she's trying not to alarm her kids.
She gets in a cycle. She can't stop saying Becca Tyler. She's like Becca Tyler. Becca Tyler.
Kathryn Hahn is wonderful in this movie.
Great actress.
Hahn.
Han.
So then they go to the basement, right? When did they go to the basement?
Yeah,
It's
the sister
after
goes
they
to the
glimpse-
basement then. She thinks the grandparents are being held down there.
Well,
and
she goes to the basement.
Right.
He's playing Yahtzee.
He's playing Yahtzee. Right,
Yeah.
right. They split up at this point. Right, I forgot. And she's
Yeah,
in the
'cause
basement.
Pop-Pop's like, everyone loves a board game.
Well, we should at least talk about the fact that even after she finds this out, when did she try to get that final interview?
That's before.
Before.
That's before.
That's the one right
She's
before.
still- right.
Because
She's
she
still-
thinks
she's still-
she finds the elixir there.
Right.
So then she says
Right,
to mom,
that's right.
like, we're ready to go home.
She's still scared though.
Yeah.
But she has to get the
She doesn't want to go home until she gets the apology from the grandma, which she
It's
calls
the
the
elixir,
elixir.
yeah.
So as this interview where the grandma
And,
talks about
whenever she
creatures in the
asks-
water.
Whenever she asks the grandma about the past, she starts like shaking and screaming. Totally normal behavior. And so that's why she hasn't gotten this elixir yet.
okay.
I think that scene is really well written.
I think the scenes are well done, yeah.
Yeah, but that scene where she the daughter has to frame it to her as a story and be like, what character would you relate to?
yes.
I think that's a good piece of screenwriting.
Okay, so
And Deanna Dunnigan's really terrific in it.
fucking good. Yeah.
why do you think, aside from the fact that it's convenient to the plot, that the fake grandparents are like able to be so normal at the start and then get increasingly crazy?
Yeah.
Do you think it's just a plot contrivance?
Said that it's a plot contrivance. I do also think that whatever their psychosis is, and it's not like 100% defined, right?
Yeah.
Is breaking down, right? Like they've just
Well, she calls them
accomplished this.
schizophrenics. I mean, they're delusional,
Right,
so
sure.
they're schizophrenics. But like,
however it works exactly,
Right.
like if they're trying to act out some sort of normal behavior with
Right.
these kids, like they want to play
there's-
grandparent or something.
there's something really strange about the fact that they were
can't
able
hold
to
it
like
together.
they were able to like work together,
Sure.
leave the hospital together, escape
It's true.
together, and then like
murder two
people. Like it isn't quite work, and that's fine. But I guess like I was wondering if it's like actually like they really wanted to have this normal week, and then it's toward the end when they're going to be leaving that they know they're going to have to kill them, or is it like less conscious? Than
That's
that?
a pretty good read.
Well, I like that
Yeah,
read.
that's a good read that they know that
Yeah.
this can't hold, and like so
Right.
that's making.
Because he says
that's
in the
making
basement,
them
he's like,
crazier.
I wanted to give her I told her it would be a good week because she
right.
like lost her kids when she murdered them,
Right.
And
which is a real bummer week
It's
for
a
her.
tough break. So
That
a real
was a
Polanski
bad
of a
week.
situation.
Right.
Yeah.
but they do like they go so crazy at the end that you're kind of like, how are they ever normal?
Good question.
Yeah, I mean, I like your read that the fact that it's coming to an end is making them lose it. My first read was the sort of in line with David, where it's like, okay, they were in a hospital, they were probably being medicated, treated.
Oh, I like that too.
So they're sort of coming out of
Yeah,
that.
that's
so
like-
it's like
good, yeah.
the film spans a week.
Right.
We're to presume that they only took over a day or two before the kids get there, right? Because Kathryn Hahn had been communicating with the grandparents.
Sure.
Like, when the plans were made, it was the original grandparents. Because they say in the basement, your grandparents kept on coming by and talking about what great kids you were, how excited they were to meet you.
Right. That's, of course, the attachment they have. Right. That is
so they
defined
knew,
as,
right.
yeah.
So
They knew these
We presume that the nutsos came in like the day or two before.
Let's not call them nutso.
Okay, the cuckoo shoes.
That's yeah, okay, that's fine.
Nana and Pop Pop. They came in, fake Nana, Fana and Fop Fop, came through like a day or two before. The film spans like a week, I believe, right? So by day 7, it's like, A, they know it's coming to an end. B, they're incredibly stressed out about the fact that they might get caught. C, they haven't been medicated in a while. D, they're not undergoing treatment.
I think the medication thing is actually like a really good. I
read.
enjoy that as like a theory because it makes total sense. Since that medication, like psychiatric medication, lingers in your body
Yes.
for several
right.
days,
So it's
if
starting
not
to phase
weeks.
out. Yeah. And then I think the stress of the situation.
And then I
probably.
think the fact that the plot calls for it.
The plot
Plot-
calls.
the plot does
wait,
call
it
for it.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, they also do commit a third murder. I mean,
Right.
the dad does. The grandpa does at least,
Yeah.
and maybe that's not helping anyone. You know,
No.
that he has
We
to
don't know.
have-
We don't know who killed her.
That's true. That's true. Maybe someone is still at large.
Well, I meant more that Nana could have done it.
Oh, I suppose.
Yeah.
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's just because she's talking to.
Nana's fast, as we've noted.
I mean, so there are these two simultaneous showdowns. Speaking of Nana,
Yeah.
there's first I guess they're in the garage and they play this tense game of Yahtzee.
Yeah, which is not a board game. Let's just call it as I see it. It's not a board game.
What is it?
It's a game.
It's like
The
a
dice game?
Yeah, where's the board?
I mean, look, fine.
It's fucking dice and a shaker.
But
Is Uno a board game?
No, it's a card game.
Right, so Yahtzee's a dice game.
well, okay. There you go.
Well, I'm just saying we're
And
parsing over.
and who made it?
Well, who made it or who now manufactures and distributes
Okay,
it?
so the point is,
The point is that
split up.
Pop Pop locks Becca,
Becca, yeah.
in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And her grandma's in there.
Yeah.
And she basically tries to eat her.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
And whereas then he goes downstairs and he puts a diaper in his fake grandson's face.
Yeah, a lot of fake poopy on the young boy's face.
And I mean, he loses his mind at him too.
you know
I mean, like, and I mean, like, he
what's so
starts
funny
screaming
is,
at him.
yes, but they like
They already lost their mind.
they totally like establish the fact that this kid has like a germophobia problem,
Right.
related to the dad for no good reason, or they explain it. He's trying to get control of the situation, which is like, I think you can pay like a TV therapist to say that. I
It's
don't
a
know
Dr. Phil thing to say.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyway, but they set that up, I think, just so they can have the poop in the face scene.
That's what we call a shit justification.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like that was like just for that one moment?
Yep,
Pretty
I believe
much.
so.
And don't you think that anyone getting a diaper in the face would be as horrified?
Yeah, I don't think you need that. I think that works in a nutshell. Like, out of context, it's still like, oh, I don't want an old man's poopy diaper on my nose. Do you know what I would have done if I was Pop Pop?
And he was pooping a lot. You notice how much poop was in that diaper?
So much
Oh
poop.
my God.
Yeah.
And a lot of diapers.
You know what I somehow missed when I saw it in the theater, maybe because people were like laughing and screaming and stuff, is the sound of him defecating during the Yahtzee game.
Wait, really?
You can
Yes.
you
During
hear
the
him
Yahtzee
hear him
game,
pooping.
He poops.
Wow.
And then he
I think
goes,
I missed
I
that.
have to go. Yes.
Oh, yes, I missed it the first time, and I was like, oh, I can definitely hear the poop coming out.
He poops. He there's a wet fart sound.
Yes, there is.
Do you know what I would have done if I was Pop Pop?
Increase the volume on that.
No question. If I was Pop Pop,
Pop did ADR for this
yeah,
movie.
Pop Pop did ADR.
He was the sound re-recording mixer.
Not the actor, the character.
Yeah.
The real Pop Pop who the film was based on.
Shyamalan took a gamble. He took a gamble and it worked. He rolled the dice. You could say he played Yahtzee.
Yeah.
No, go on.
People
Sorry.
say he's crazy like a fox when it comes to that soundboard. Pop Pop. If I Pop Pop
Sure.
in the basement,
Sure.
facing down Tyler.
Would that a torso simple?
Would that a torso simple?
Mhm.
I take 2 handfuls of duty from that diaper, or I would wrap the diaper around his head, Geordie LaForge style or Lobot style. So like around.
Yeah, no, we get you.
Right,
Yeah,
either the front or the back. Shove that poop in his ears and go, hey, this is what it feels like when you rap in front of us.
That would be maybe a little on the nose.
It's so good, though.
Thank you. Like a Lobot. He's just got the diaper around the back of his head.
When they reboot this film.
Yeah.
Actually, when Gus Van Sant does his remake,
Yeah,
shot for
his
shot
hot
remake,
teenager version of this
He's
movie.
got to linger
Yeah.
on those bodies.
he could do a shot for shot remake
Yeah.
when but just change up the diaper thing.
Yeah.
You know how like Vince Vaughn masturbates in Psycho?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that.
Right, so just little
Yeah.
tweaks.
Yeah.
So you know what
Yeah.
happened in the Gus Van Sant version? He'd Lobot the poop around his ears. He'd say, "This is what it feels like when you rap," and then the camera would slowly, for 2 minutes, pan down the poop dripping down his body.
Yeah. And then there would be an intercut of like a naked woman with a blindfold.
And then the shower sequence. You have to show him showering
Hey,
the poop off.
You know whose movies I hate a lot of?
Walt Becker.
I was
Do you not like
Say
Gus Van Sant?
GVS?
I
He just hasn't made a great movie in a while.
I think
In a while.
I think like I mean like I've gotten like angry at more of his films than I have at like other
Interesting.
like Psycho made me angry.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
well,
a
Psycho
big,
blows.
I'm a big Psycho fan.
Oh, that's a silly opinion.
Elephant made me angry.
I like Elephant.
Elephant is horrible.
I like it.
Elephant is not a film that I have seen in 13 years, however long it's been now. So, and I really worry about how I feel about Elephant these days. I
yeah.
remember liking it when I was 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Go on, please.
I remember thinking that it was like exploitative garbage, like before school shootings were like a daily thing. And then I was like, oh, look, the killers are making out in the shower. This is fucking terrible.
Elephant's a movie. We could talk
All right,
about it. We could
you
talk
know-
about Gus one day.
Has he ever done a movie without a shower scene?
Milk?
Milk doesn't have any showering.
Does it definitely not have any showering?
I don't know.
I don't think
it has
it does.
bathing.
Yeah.
They're in a pool.
Yeah.
Everyone bathes, you know?
Guys, everyone bathes.
I mean,
Everyone poops.
Let's not make assumptions. That is true. Everyone does poop.
But wait. Oh, Psycho's great though. Psycho's great. We should do a Psycho episode. I mean, talk about a blank check movie.
Whoever did the sound mixing on Vince Vaughn's masturbation scene did a great job. Do you remember that?
Oh
that
yeah.
how
That's some.
I think it was
fapping.
the same guy who did the sound mixing on Benny Hill. I was like,
Yeah, it totally.
You should see, dude. Psycho is so good. You should see Psycho again.
yeah, maybe.
yeah.
slide
It was
whistle.
just someone taking silly putty on a newspaper
Yeah.
really fast.
The slide whistle.
I like that he was like, he saw Psycho. He was like, I don't think that the weird psychosexual tension is clear enough. I'm going to have him masturbate on the wall.
Some guy's got to slam his ham in this movie.
All right, that was good.
Okay. The visit.
Yeah.
What is it? So this movie came out, when? September 11th, 2015?
Okay, so the showdown between the grandma,
yeah.
Nana, and
Yeah, and Becca.
Becca,
Yeah.
is they don't show very much. You talked about how
No.
it's not very violent, and actually, both showdowns, like you don't see really the
No.
aftermath of their, but they do. The kids do like murder the
Kill
fuck out
them.
of them.
Tyler crushes Pop-Pop's head in it.
Tyler really loses it. I mean, which is fair. The guy did put a diaper on his face, but he smashes his head in a doorway.
Yeah.
She stabs her with a mirror shard.
Uh-huh.
We don't really see what she does, but we assume that she's like you see that
Yeah.
she's stabbing her.
Yeah. Also, she's like under the bed at one point, Nana, and her like hand reaches out. It's pretty cool.
And she's like giggling, and it's great.
Yeah,
You know what? She seems like she's having a good time.
Yeah,
she's crazy in a fun way. She's like having a blast being psychotic.
Hers is the better executed part, I would say, of the showdown. I would say the grandpa part works less.
Also, okay, I was confused both times watching this as to why Tyler was standing there, not moving.
I guess he's just freaked out.
Yeah.
But he's standing like on a thing. Isn't he like standing on something, or is he like
An
just
apple box?
Is he though? I feel like he was. I don't know. In my memory, like
No, you're right that he's standing there, and it is a little.
it's very
jarring.
awkward.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like when he gets the poop on the face, that to me explains why he's not moving because he's like so freaked out. Like he can't move. He's so like freaking out about germs.
Right.
But before that, why was he literally standing there? He's not tied to anything. He's not like.
The pop-up is yelling at him. He's kind of like sort of ranting and raving. I know. You're
he's
right.
a crummy kid.
He sucks. He fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You can't freestyle your way out of every situation, you know?
Anyway, they kill the parents and then they run out of the house and the cops are there.
And the movie ends.
And that sequence, I think, is really well done.
It's so
Them
good.
running
It's
out
very
is
well done.
With
very well
with a
done.
callback to the music they're going to use.
Yep.
Yeah.
The dramatic, ironic score.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't like this final scene where they do the final interview with Kathryn Hahn.
No, I hate it. I think the movie would have been so. If the movie had ended with them running to the car and that music swelling, it would have been perfect. And like a very B movie ending to like have that score.
I don't disagree, especially with the B movie stuff. No, I think Kathryn Hahn does a very nice job with the scene.
Yeah.
But it does also put a button on something that I feel like we already got the button. We already kind of get
You think it's gilding the lily a little?
a little bit
Well,
because she's basically directly saying like you don't have to, you can forgive him.
Yeah.
Like,
And then they intercut in the footage of the dad. Yeah.
Also, because the grandparents aren't actually her parents. There's no emotional closure at all. I mean, she mentioned
her parents are dead.
Right.
Right.
She says like I could have gotten forgiveness whenever I wanted, whatever. It was never, But at the same time, like
she talks about like she hit her mom and her dad hit her. Like when she left, there was this like
we learned what happened.
There was like a hit triangle.
But why? It doesn't actually. I still don't understand. It's not earned at all, that moment. And then like
I agree.
we get those footage of the footage of them as kids with their dad.
Yeah.
And I mean,
handsome dad. Can we put
handsome
that
guy?
out?
Handsome
Listen,
guy.
if
His
you're
name
looking
is
at dad,
Benjamin Keynes is the name.
If you're a substitute teacher and you're going to run off with the student, you're probably pretty hot.
yeah,
Let's be real.
yeah, because substitute teacher, that's a pretty basic job. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be good looking to overcome.
Because you're only there for a few days to really like
you got to
get in
really
there.
make a quick impression.
Benjamin Kane, who was a stand-in for Mark Wahlberg in Invincible and Shooter and the other guys, and for Jude Law in My Blueberry Nights.
But not the happening.
Not that.
But My Blueberry Nights,
My Blueberry Nights, though.
the best Wong Kar-wai movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah, definitely.
My Blueberry Nights is like, is maybe we should do Wong Kar-wai because My Blueberry Nights is out of its mind. No, it's so bad.
You don't like pie?
I love pie. Look, I love pie. I'm a pie guy. But My Blueberry Nights is crazy.
What if we
Natalie Portman plays an old Southern gambler in that movie.
I do like
She's
that.
like 24.
Yeah, but she has an old soul.
She has an old soul. Yeah. She plays like a Dolly Parton, like a bad Dolly Parton.
She's essentially playing like a later Jeff Bridges character.
Like literally, she's like, look at me, sweetie. I've been around these parts so long.
Is that Nora Jones in that movie?
Yeah,
she's the lead. She's the lead.
She's a great actor.
Yeah. You know what I loved her in?
Let that.
Do you know what I loved her? She's so good in Ted.
Is she in Ted?
Do you remember that scene where she's
she
in Ted?
Ted?
No, she's in Ted.
I haven't seen either Ted movie.
There's a scene where I think Mark Wahlberg has to win back Mila Kunis, and so Ted's like, I got a plan. And he like brings Wahlberg to a Nora Jones concert, and I think Wahlberg gets on stage and makes an apology to her. I don't know. Whatever the scene is, they go backstage to a Nora Jones concert, and it's implied that Ted and Nora Jones used to date.
Uh-huh.
And they talk about fucking.
She fucked that bear.
She fucked that bear. But then there's an earlier part in the movie.
Does the bear have a penis?
No, there's, oh God.
Do they actually go into the mechanics of this?
Yeah, there's an earlier part in the movie. He works at a grocery store, and he is trying to get fired, and whatever he does, the manager only likes him more. And there's one part where they walk in, and he's fucking another employee of the grocery store with, like, a parsnip. Like, from the produce section, he's holding a parsnip to his crotch.
So he's not really getting off on it. It's just like it's like a psychological thing.
Yeah.
Like he's asserting his dominance.
He's a little tabor putting a parsnip in the vagina.
So he has
he
uses like a strap on in his relationships.
I think so. That was the weird.
So he's yeah, okay.
Yeah, but Nora Jones and he had some sort of sex, perhaps with a vegetable.
The only bit of Ted I've seen is the clip from Ted 2 where he sees the field of marijuana leaves and the Jurassic Park score plays.
I've never seen
which
that.
David Ehrlich made me watch, saying like, Ted's awful, Ted 2 is even worse, but this scene will make you laugh. And I was like, I don't think the scene, and I laughed out loud. I was
Also,
very angry.
Like I didn't see Ted 2. I hate Ted 1. There may be 2 sequences I think are genuinely very funny in that movie. The fucking hit to miss ratio. If you're making a joke every 4.5 milliseconds, you're gonna get a couple funny
I agree.
things.
Right.
Yeah,
There's just, have you seen that? I'll show you that clip.
Yeah,
It's
I'll
funny.
watch that. There's one bit in Ted 1 I've rewatched on YouTube a bunch of times because I think it's really funny. The rest of the movie I think is pretty despicable, especially the part where they make me watch a teddy bear have sex with a woman using a
Using a parsnip?
vegetable.
A vegetable?
The grossest of all vegetables, the parsnip.
Are you sure it's a parsnip?
He says to the, it goes, Ted, I like the cut of your jib. And Ted looks at him and he goes, I fucked a woman with a parsnip. And he goes, they're promoted or whatever. Ted says the words, I fucked your employee with a parsnip.
Right. Okay.
Garbage movie.
Okay. The Visit,
Legalized Ted, though.
The Visit is a 2015 film that came out September 11th and was directed by M. Night Shyamalan,
Yeah,
and
so
we all liked it.
To put this in context, this was only like 3 months after Ted 2. So the fact that this film was able to, because people didn't really want to go to the movies, you know? I mean, it's like,
It's a post Ted 2 world.
yeah, it's a PTT film. We all like it. It's a good movie. It's a weird place now because it's so different than his other films, you know, which were had.
And it's hard to know if it's going to lead to more
That's
films
the
of this
question.
quality,
Yeah.
or if it's just going to be a weird blip where it's like,
I don't
Remember-
think
I
it's
don't
going
know.
to.
yeah,
I feel like it's going to follow the Blumhouse route where you make one good first movie
and then you
fuck up the
and you
sequels.
Fuck it up. Yeah. I mean, this doesn't feel like the 11th
I'd love
film
a
by
Visit
someone.
sequel where
I
it's like,
don't. Yeah.
hey, also, your dad had some grandparents. You should totally hang out with them.
If you saw this movie and they said, this is an upstart director, this is his first film, you'd go like, this guy's got a lot of potential.
I don't.
Absolutely.
I find like found footage often hard to judge.
I think so too, but I think there's enough inventiveness in this film.
Right.
There are enough well-written scenes.
Well, that he's written it. Yes, as a writer-director. Yes.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know if a director alone, I would be like.
But that's the thing. I would watch that and I go, I'd love to see him do a non-found footage movie.
Right.
We know this next one isn't found footage, but we also know nothing else about it. So I wonder, like, stylistically, is he just going to revert back? Is he going to go back to the well? You know, I mean,
I
it
don't
could
know.
still be a thriller, but be a different type
Are we
of
gonna
thriller.
get a twist?
I don't know.
M. Night.
I'm not.
I can't. We're done with him. It hasn't hit me until now.
Look at the boss.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's do a bonus episode.
We're
We'll do
missing.
one.
We're starting to miss him.
We'll
now.
do one. We'll do one.
That
We'll do
little
guys. Don't worry.
rascal.
We'll do a
That
bonus.
little rascal Minaj.
Are we done?
I think so.
I want to read a couple of reviews. I just
M. Night's
checked
such
our
a little
reviews.
stinker. But it made like 60 million, 100 million.
Great job.
And here's the thing.
We've
Like,
been here for 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
That's correct.
60 million is the same amount that After Earth made, but it was like 5 million and it was lowered expectations, and it's all about the perception in Hollywood.
course.
You know?
Yeah.
Like it's not just about like, okay, he made more money this time,
Well,
lost
also
more
this
money.
movie has no stars in it.
Right.
Like no stars.
Right.
Except for Han,
Yeah.
who's a star in my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even remember I think it was AMC.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever AMC theaters played the trailer for this movie, there was like a message from M. Night before it.
I think I remember that.
And he
Yeah,
was
where
like,
he's like,
"Hi,
"Hey guys, I'm
M.
making
Night
this
Shyamalan.
now."
Here's my new film about
It
grandparents.
was like don't spoil the twist ending.
Yeah.
Is it on
Like
Regal
very
First Look?
very Hitchcock.
It was, no, but
Dude,
I made that up. He didn't say don't spoil the twist
that'd
ending.
be great though.
It
What
wasn't-
if he did a Psycho style trailer where he's like, "This is the house." Have you seen that?
Hey,
trailer?
I'm M. Night Shyamalan. This is where my next film is set. I don't think it was
He
even
gestures to the shed.
Yeah,
Ugh,
yeah.
great.
You're gonna love this shed. Yeah, because that's what Hitchcock is. There's something very interesting.
Have you seen the
Yeah, it's an
Psycho
incredible
trailer? It's the
trailer.
greatest thing
Yeah,
in the
it's
world. Where he's
amazing.
treating it like it's a real thing.
Yeah, everyone should watch it.
Oh my god.
I
6 minutes long.
It wasn't even like the Regal First Look thing. It was like when you sat down the theater, you saw 4 normal trailers, then there was the green, the following preview has been approved for all ages thing, and then it was M. Night going like, hey, I'm M. Night Shyamalan. My next film is a creepy thriller about
playing
grandparents
Yahtzee
for
and
the
he looks
visit.
up.
I
On
never-
behalf of AMC Theaters, I hope you enjoy the trailer.
Oh, it was an AMC theaters thing. So
I think it was AMC specific.
I didn't ever see that, and I felt like I felt like they were trying to avoid the M. Night Shyamalan thing in the marketing.
Sure, it's not in the marketing very
It's not
prominent.
hugely. I mean, his name is much smaller in the poster, and on one of the posters, the tagline is "a new original thriller from writer-director M. Night Shyamalan," which feels like a weird thing to push the original thing. But it felt like they were trying to be
given
like,
his plagiarism
Right,
claims
yes.
in the past, I
Yeah.
think they wanted to remind you that this hasn't been done before.
yeah,
I like the embroidered poster though.
Me too.
It's cool.
It's cute.
With the weird sort of like
It's funky.
dirty
It's funky.
edges.
it's fun.
It's cute.
It's cute. It's cute. I don't know. I would just love to see, like, this was such a departure from him. I don't want to see him make another found footage movie, which we know he's not doing right now. I just want to see him experiment with each film. I want to see him try different stuff.
He is. Maybe
you
he
never
is.
know
Let's
what
not term.
Last Airbender 2 is going to look like.
Oh, yeah.
He claims he's
Well,
so close to production.
And that Noah Ringer is so built.
He did an interview when he was promoting The Visit, saying that he's
He was
doing
gonna work
this
on an
next
after-
movie.
yeah, and then-
He's doing Split. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And then the plans to do that after that. M. Night, that will not happen.
Well, no, and also because Noah Ringer's too busy hanging out with his friends and updating his Facebook.
He's so busy
to
that
make a
guy.
movie.
And
Yeah.
snow skiing. Folks.
Like soccer.
Thanks. Can I read a couple of reviews?
Oh, yeah.
Where I just looked at our reviews, and there's one really good one.
Okay.
Okay, this is a 5-star review by Ass Eater 1 Official.
Oh, good. I thought it was one of those imposter
No,
accounts.
this is the official Ass Eater 1 account.
It's not a parody account? Okay.
Here's the title of the review.
Where is this review? On IMDb?
on iTunes?
Oh, cool.
No, I'm talking about reviews of
for
our
you.
podcast.
Oh,
Of our
great.
podcast.
Oh, great. So let's just say goodbye to M. Night Shyamalan for now.
Oh, M. Night.
Okay.
We'll do a bonus.
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
do
we'll
a
do a
bonus.
bonus.
Now I miss him already.
We'll do a bonus.
And check out whatever we're doing next. I don't know. I mean, are we going to go right to Wachowski's?
Well, that's a question. We might do a one-off. I had an interesting one-off idea. I don't know. We'll talk about it after this.
Mike.
Plan it on the podcast right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
like,
2 weeks ahead
when are
now,
you
so we have
busy?
time to
Like,
figure
when
out.
when are you free, Griff? Yeah.
Whatever. The next episode will come out a week after you're listening to this. We just haven't planned it out because we're in the past and you're in the future.
Boom. Ass Eater 1 Official.
Okay.
The title of this review is I Told Her I'd Make This. The review reads, I checked this out because my mom made me. It's okay.
What?
Whose mom is listening?
Is your mom?
Please get at us.
Yeah.
Blank Check Pod on
Yep.
Twitter.
I really hope you get a comment from Ass Eater Mom.
Official.
Official, yeah. It's just like,
Mrs. Ass Eater.
Also, this is another one-line review. There's another long review from a guy called Nicolas Cage, who's very nice,
Great name. We got good listeners.
who's got a lot of things to say. Maybe we'll get back to him sometime. But this is a one-line review from Jeffrey Tambor's brother.
Uh-huh.
It says Techno Union Support.
Uh-huh.
And says, the Techno Union's army is at your disposal, guys, as are my ear holes. P.S. More burger stories from Ben, please. Ben,
Oh,
do you
interesting.
have a burger story for us?
Sure.
Ben used to work at the Spotted Pig.
And we have a new segment called The
Oh.
Burger Report.
It's not new. We forgot about it like the last 3 weeks,
Yeah.
but we're bringing it back.
We did 2 weeks, though. Louis, this segment is if you have a story about seeing a famous person eating a burger.
Oh, have you seen a famous person eating a burger?
You live in
Louis Peitzman?
Hollywood, in Hollyweird.
I'm thinking.
Okay, well, Ben
right.
can come up with one
Yeah,
because
no,
he
I'll
has,
jump in on one.
He
So-
worked at a burger place, so he has tons of
Okay.
stories. And then if you have one by the end of Ben's story,
Sure.
please share.
Okay, so this is I'll try to keep this brief. But right around the time when LeBron James announced
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
that he was going to be going to Miami,
I'm so excited
He
by
also
this
announced
story.
he was going to the old homestead.
he then I think he was in Connecticut. He came to New York and partied at the Spotted Pig in the private VIP third floor area.
Wow.
Okay, so this is like a Sunday night.
I am genuinely starstruck right now.
Yeah, I'm loving this story.
And so I was just kind of assisting, like with just setting up. They had like a private cook and a bartender that was exclusively working their floor. And so, weird thing number one is he had a guy show up and cut his hair in the middle of the room.
Weird.
And
Definitely
so
weird.
I had to sweep up his hair.
Did you save the hair to auction off later?
I guess I should have.
You
Yeah, you
totally
should've
should
cloned
have.
him.
I really should have.
Really should have.
Did not plan ahead. No.
What else?
thing number 2.
Okay, weird. Great. Weird thing number 2. All of his friends just were smoking weed and blunts, and that kind of, we'll like allow that, but they were like
They were
doing
really
it to a
going for
point
it?
where it was like wafting into the rest of the restaurant.
It's not Senor Frogs. You can't do anything.
Yeah, it's like you can kind of do what you want because you rent the space, but you can't get like crazy with it.
Do you know that Senior Frog technically operates under maritime laws?
I did not know that.
What is
Weird number 3.
What's the weird thing?
Okay, late into the night, they're all fucked up, right? And they ask me to go let somebody in at the side entrance, right?
Yeah.
So I open the door to the street, and there are probably like 10 to 12 really high-class, expensive call girls.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Okay?
This is a salacious
Do you
story.
guys have a lawyer to check these before you
Yeah.
release them?
Yeah.
I love this story.
No.
I got a lawyer. Remember I sent her the contract to look over before we sent her to Dale, and she never wrote back to me?
Oh, yeah.
She said, I'm not going to waste my
She has
time
better
on
things to
this.
do. Come on.
Yeah.
Wait, so 10 to 12 high-class hookers.
And so, well, they're call girls, David. Come on.
Sorry.
Ladies of the night.
Ladies of the evening.
Apology.
So
It's very hot in here.
the stairwell is very steep, okay? And I was a
Not what I expected you to say.
Nope.
I'm a gentleman. I make sure to let them all in before I shut the door.
Gentleman Ben, yeah.
And then I make sure to then, follow behind. And when I look up, I noticed that none of them were wearing underwear because I could see
Great.
their booties.
Wow.
So anyway, that was a fun time.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's the life of a very, very,
Also,
very, very rich
also
person.
him and his friends ate a hamburger too.
I
Wow.
think that was tacked on, much like the emotional coda of the visit.
Of the visit?
A little tacked on,
The
honestly.
burger report.
Louis, do you have a famous burger story, or do you want to leave it there?
No,
That will be tough to top.
I saw Alex Borstein at the counter once.
Love that.
Okay, that works.
Love that.
I'll say this to you,
Love
too.
Alex Borstein. Love that story.
I'll say this, and we've said this before. Open offer. Any past guests of the show, anytime they have a burger
Call
report,
in.
call in.
Text in.
I know I could do better.
Snapchat.
I know I could do better than Alex Borstein. I love Alex Borstein.
But I'm saying-
I just know that I could probably, if I thought more about it,
Look,
like come up with
you spend a
something.
lot of time in New York. You spend a lot of time in LA. You go back and forth between the two.
Right.
These are hubbubs, hotspots.
Hubbubs are both celebrities and places with fancy burgers and
I
cheap
mean,
burgers. and-
I just don't go to a lot of places with burgers.
Yeah,
I,
well,
you know,
there you go.
I don't eat burgers.
Louis,
Not a burger
this is
guy.
what I'm saying to you.
Right.
Anytime in the future.
Okay.
If you just have a burger store, you want to get it
You
on
see
here.
a Famo, call me, leave a voicemail,
Okay.
we'll put it on the podcast.
Thank you. I will.
Yep.
And listeners, please write in with your burger reports.
Yes.
I had one this week, but it wasn't very good, so I'm not.
What is it?
It'd take too much time to explain who
Just
the
say the
person
name.
was. You know Andrew?
No.
They're performance art collective of two guys who dress up exactly the same and go to events together.
Definitely not.
They
Let's
DJ
end
at
the
bars.
story there.
I saw one of the Andrews. It's the only
Great.
time I think they might have split up.
So it's like seeing Teller.
Yeah, if Teller was not Penn and Teller, but Teller and Teller. And the bit was that there were two Tellers.
Do you think Teller's like as much of a dick as Penn is, or is he like cool?
No, I think he's pretty chill.
I think Teller's cool.
Penn's a
How
monster.
could you be a bigger dick than Penn?
Yeah.
Have you heard that Penn's an atheist?
Yeah, but here's a real rumor I heard going around that I don't like. People say that Ricky Gervais is an atheist.
I was going to make
Yeah.
This
this
is
joke.
slanderous.
That's unfortunate.
That's
He's got
slanderous.
that labeled.
There's
on
no
him, yeah.
basis for that.
I just think that Ricky Gervais is just too hot for TV.
Wait,
you know? I just think that's
but
the
here's
thing.
the thing: you give that guy a glass of beer and you put it in front of
shit.
the microphone. Who knows who's
The
going to
thing about
say?
him is he says the thing about a celebrity that
Yeah.
no one else will dare to say,
Because here's the-
which is that they're stupid.
Here's the thing. Like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are famous, but he still makes jokes about
I know.
them.
Everyone else, of course, treats them like hallowed royalty.
Of course.
Yes.
They're unimpeachable.
The thing about him is there's nowhere he won't go.
There's nowhere he won't go.
Yeah.
That guy. I mean, when he made The Office, I was like, wait, he's making fun of offices? But that was just the start, you know? That seemed crazy at the time. Like, oh, wait, like paper and shit? Like printers? I was like, what? And then he just got crazier and crazier.
Come on the podcast,
Wait,
Ricky.
I have a serious question.
Please.
Did you ever watch that show Penn and Teller Bullshit? The show
On
where they
Showtime.
right?
I dabbled.
And like it started off really normal, and then it would get really libertarian. Like
Right.
it would be like bullshit on like
Paying taxes.
it was like bullshit on creationism, and then it was like bullshit on gun control, and I was like, okay, this show's taking a turn.
Yep.
That's all.
Well,
Yeah, Penn
thanks
and Teller.
as always to Penn and Teller.
Please come on the show.
Yeah, to Ricky, Tricky
Penn
Ricky
and
Gervais.
Teller, and to
Do
Tricky
people ever call him
Ricky.
Tricky Ricky?
Every day. Every day. That's how he's introduced at the beginning of every Golden Globe ceremony.
Ben likes that one.
I like that a lot.
God.
Yeah, and obviously join us next week for whatever it is we're doing. And the Wachowskis are coming in the future.
Yeah, we have to
What are we
decide.
going to call that one? The Podchowskis?
Yeah. Well, look, if we're doing, yeah, I think the Podchowskis.
Yeah.
I think if we're doing a M&I bonus, which I think we're going to do,
Yeah,
it will
maybe
come
that'll-
out next
that'll
week.
be next week, maybe.
But we might record two Wachowskis as a palate cleanser and then go back to M&I because we're feeling a little M&I crazy right now.
I'm not crazy.
But we have that latitude because we're ahead.
Was that the crazy taxi voice?
Yeah, that was the come on, guys, pick your car and driver. I just did it. I just did exactly what it says.
Okay, so
Let's
here-
go out there and have a crazy time.
Yeah. We have a
Who
segment.
was your preferred Crazy Taxi character?
Oh, I can't fucking remember.
Oh, I was a BD Joe guy.
Did either of you ever play a Simpsons Hit and Run?
Yeah, it was just a rip-off of Crazy
No.
Taxi.
Yeah.
I didn't because I had integrity of Crazy Taxi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lewis.
Wait, but who was the one that I had a crush on? Like, I definitely had a crush on one of the drivers.
There was like kind of like a skater punk with like green hair.
Oh, yeah, that's green hair.
I forget
Yep,
his name.
yeah.
And
Eric
then,
Von Detten?
That was a very...
and then there's like a sort of like a cool black guy, and then there's like a sort of portly middle-aged gentleman, and then
Right.
there's a girl. And her thing is that she's female.
Yeah. I'd always pick the lady.
Gina is her name.
Wow, good pull.
I played a lot of Crazy Taxi
Yeah.
in my day. I still have it on my computer.
What was that song that the Offspring song?
It's the one that goes, yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't remember what it's called.
You drive me crazy. Taxi.
All I
Yeah, I
whenever
couldn't afford that.
I think about 8th grade, I just think about that, and I think about the Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and the
Oh,
song was
totally.
what was the song?
There was the one that
fucking
yes.
like I can't think of the band, Goldfinger. It was the Goldfinger song.
Yeah, what's fuck? How'd that song go? I know exactly what song you're talking
We're
about.
gonna play it after. I'll
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah,
Can you look it up?
Get
Well,
the
sorry, I'm
Goldfinger
so
song
sorry.
from
Yeah.
Tony Hawk,
Ben,
and
can
then
you look up
close out the
Goldfinger
episode.
Tony Hawk? Lewis, is there anything you want to play?
Oh, well, my podcast is over, so not that.
But it exists forever on the internet.
It's true. I have a podcast called After Smash, which I co-host with my friend Matt Pivovarczyk, and it's about the show Smash on NBC. It was limited run, and now it's mostly over.
Do you know I used to be Teresa Rebeck's neighbor? We can talk about it off mic.
We will talk about a lot of things off mic.
Do you know that I very nearly got cast as Leo on Smash?
I do know that,
Yeah.
Griffin.
Well, thanks for having me on as a guest.
Maybe if you'd actually been cast.
I was so close.
You were in Brooklyn, right?
Me and,
You were in Brooklyn.
yeah, I was
Yeah,
in
he's in the
Brooklyn.
borough of Brooklyn.
Exactly. Yeah.
Once in a while.
You know what I
Yeah,
meant.
yeah.
No,
Funny
we know
joke,
We
Lewis.
know what he meant.
I just think you could have Emery Cohen's career if you just pushed a little bit harder.
He's a great actor.
Who knew? Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Follow
Lewis-
me on Twitter.
You had Megan Hilty on the show, right?
We did
I
have
saw
Megan
that.
Hilty
That's
on the
great.
show.
She was so great in Noises Off, which
yeah.
I just saw, which she was one of the best performances of bad acting I've ever seen. Like, a good performance of a bad actor.
That podcast exists forever.
Yes.
Your writing can be found on BuzzFeed.
Your
Sure.
internet is written in ink. You are Louis Peitzman on BuzzFeed.
You're not Louis Peitzman, right?
No,
Louis.
Louis.
Louis
Yeah.
Peitzman.
Yeah, I saw a lender or
With an S.
viewers.
Louis
Yeah,
with an S.
Louis.
On Twitter.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
follow
yeah.
your work. Just follow. Just
On the stuff?
Follow me on
Yeah.
Twitter.
Follow on Twitter.
Yeah. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Peach. I'm at Nintendo. I am.
I'm Dorothy Spornak on Peach.
What is fucking Peach?
I don't
heard
use
someone
it.
reference
It's a
it the other day.
thing.
It's a new thing.
It lasted approximately one night.
No, my friends. I still have 3 friends who use Peach consistently to post their darkest secrets because no one's on it. So
And your
I
name's Nintendo?
Yeah, I snagged at Nintendo on Peach,
really good.
and I only post gifts for movies that I am watching late at night.
Good.
Yeah, that's been my bit so far.
I'm realizing because it's 2 weeks ahead. I'm doing a show at Union Hall on April 22nd.
Oh wow, 2 days before my birthday.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's part of a monthly show I do with my buddy Joe Garden of The Onion called the Griffin Joe Holiday Spectacular. And we do
Joe
different...
Garden still has not been on this podcast.
He will be
brings
someday.
it up every week.
Every week.
Yep.
But we do holiday specials, like old TV holiday specials with a bunch of cool guests. And our
Yes,
guests are
they're
still
great.
being locked down. But April 22nd is the next one at Union Hall. It's
And-
the Griffin Joe Earth Day Earth-tacular.
And it's I got a plug. It's really hot in here.
Yep.
And we're gonna quit the episode right now. It's the end of that. So as always,
As always, Ben, do you have the Goldfinger song queued up?
Oh, yeah, sure do.
Can you play it?
Yeah.
keep on rocking a Goldfinger.
Yep.
Holding on to what I am, pretending I'm a Superman.
Griffin, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Okay. Oh, do you have the poster ready so you can do the stupid fucking thing? Great.
Ben, please don't cut that out.
Okay.
Put that in at the end of the episode.
Sure. No, a little bonus.
Yeah, put that in a bonus
Behind the
after we
scenes.
play the theme song, okay?
Sure.
So right now what I'm about to say next is going to be the last line of the episode, and then what I say right after that will be the first line of the episode.
Okay.
This is the end of the episode.
This has been a UCB comedy production. Check out our other shows on the UCB Comedy Podcast Network.